Salve, salve, guys. Bora, segundo dia do camp. Vamos aguardar aqui. Já vai iniciar. 5 minutos, hein? TSM.
This is the moment where the great get separated from the good.
They want to prove the rest of the world that they belong in the main stage.
E aí, Bus? E aí, irmão? Tranquilo? Como é que meu fone tá muito aberto aqui? Aê! Chegamos.
Many players here from many countries and much on the line.
It is do or die. It is win or go home.
No, it's a double stick!
This has been the moment they've all been looking forward to.
Let's go, dude! The ailment is gonna do it! I cannot believe what I just saw.
Nine! What? You gotta be kidding me!
Will they do the unthinkable?
Da transmissão? Aqui, ó. E agora tá bom, tá?
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Raleigh, North Carolina.
It is time for match number 1.
Here we go, let them know once again. Yeah, you see me coming in, gotta show them I'm a fighter.
Gilderson's with the car. He's gonna get a triple kill.
You wanna take
Parece que tá muito aberto, sei lá o que aconteceu no meu fone aqui.
Woo! Here the Cosmic Knockouts is too much sweet. The last one alive. Can we see him? No! EXO! Take it over NRG.
And that's high key. I can't stop, no, I can't quit. Can't I won't do this. No way if I got a shot, you know I'm going for it. Tell everybody that I can't.
Oh! Quick with it!
On fire, you don't need your lighter. You rolling now, full speed on the tire.
As EXO look to add another win to their tally.
Win.
They get it!
Told y'all before, but y'all wouldn't hear me.
The Dreamfire is looking like, how many KP can we rack up? They take to the skies. Can they get into the skies? Bullet's down! Rebs is trying to do what he can, but while all of this is happening, it's C9 who are going to move in!
Champagne pouring, everybody adoring. Now listen to the crowd start roaring. I can't stop, no, I can't quit. I won't.
Still alive here as well, as we're down to 11 squads as Imperial. How?
Tell everybody that I came to win.
Falk 100. Caustic, got well cracked. Falk. 100. Let's go.
Just know that I came to win. You know I came to win. Yeah, who came to go higher?
Can they win the 2 versus 3? It's up to Slayers. It's C9. 2 games out of 4.
So if you came to win, let's take it higher. Who came to go higher? Yeah, we came to go higher. It's only right we go higher. It's only right we go higher.
Knock one. Yeah, I'm pushing up on you guys. Push up on it now. Play together. Deathball. Nice job. Boys.
Everybody that I came to win, you know I'm taking it higher.
Oh, 1v2, will he be able to close this one out?
EA taking the final game of the night.
Just know that I came to win. You know I came to win. I came to win. Ow!
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening from those watching around the world, and especially to those watching live in our crowd from Raleigh, North Carolina. We are here with day 2 of the ALGS Championships of 2022, the first live event ever with a crowd for our ALGS to crown a global champion. And boy, oh boy, have we seen some contenders over day 1. Welcome to the show. Welcome to everybody who arrived here live.
Agora, hein?
Shout out to our fans
Agora
in
que
the
o
stadium
bagulho vai
and
ficar
teams here,
louco já já,
also
hein?
to those watching at home. And if you're new, little introduction to kick off the day. My name is Rain Day, and of course, I'm joined by 2 of the best in the business, James Bardoff and Kel Morton Genome. Thank you both for joining me today. It's an exciting day 2, but day 1, I mean, I don't think it could have started any better.
We had some bangers. We had some people
The
coming out of the
dozen.
gates hot. We had some people starting pretty cold as well. I think Cloud9's a big example of that. We're lacking in the first half, but came back in the second with a number of wins and put themselves in a really nice place in the table. So there was action all over the place. But, you know, sometimes people are going to have to go home, and I think today might be one of those days.
Yeah, it was a big kind of talking point that we saw no EMEA team in the top 5 in overall leaderboards. Instead, we saw South America, Team Singularity. We saw APAC South, specifically Genome, where you represent and cast very often, in teams like EXO and Dreamfire really stepping up in a way that maybe not many people expected.
Exactly, yeah. You know, teams like Optic, they did fantastically. Obviously, they're a team that performed really well at Sweden. But yeah, when you're thinking about teams that you might not know as well, Team EXO, they made it here through the last chance qualifiers, but I don't want to tell you, I want to show you exactly how they had such a fantastic start to yesterday. Now in Series 1, we've had some changes to Storm Point, right? So you've got things like Down Beast is now in play. This is freeing up the map a little bit, okay? So you've got a team like EXO, they're going to split drop over in Launchpad, already a fantastic place to land at the start. They get fish farms as well because there's more space at the moment. Now they're going to join up after starting and looting both of those POIs. Then they're going to head over to the IMC Armory as well, another one of those new additions to the map. And by this point, they're just stacked out of their mind, right? Like, how are you going to beat them? It doesn't stop there, though. We've got a Southern Circle pull. Jurassic Park, it's not going to end there. Antenna, not going to end there. They've got the easiest rotation all the way down the bottom of the map here. And from this point, it was almost a foregone conclusion. And we do see EXO managing to take out one of the games here in that first series.
Thank you so much, Genome, for breaking that down. Hand in the crowd for Genome there, letting us know exactly how EXO pulled it off, because I know we all have to figure out what exactly is going on, and I think that's what the players are under pressure for today as well. It is day 2, and one big note, people are going home today. I know that is surprising for all of you. We've got one more series to go before we get into our losers bracket, but let's break down the schedule so you all know what is going to be on your screens this afternoon or whatever time zone you're watching in. Day 1 in the books. We finished that off. We did 2 series, C and D, B and D, and then A and B and B and C have played. Now it's A, their first chance on the main stage.
É os perdedores.
D, the group of death that we've been calling it colloquially.
Vou começar com eles.
Our winners of Sweden. Reignite, formerly Reignite, Dark Zero now with Jin Burton back in the mix with Zero and Sharky playing on this stage. That is going to be exciting. And then 6:15 in your afternoon, we will see our losers bracket round 1 as the crowd is already getting excited for it as well. We've got so much in store here. Everyone is pumped. But, of course, if you are rooting for some of these teams...
Hey. I don't want to see a buff Valk sign in the crowd, okay? You keep that sign the other way around. You're insane. You should sit down, sir. That's outrageous. That is rude. Nerf Valk. Nerf Valk. Turn all her abilities off. Stop. You need to stop, sir.
James,
security.
Our resident curmudgeon on the desk, James, basically, and I think that's
Did you not get the note about the out of bounds changes? That they did turn off all her abilities, and she's still at almost a 100% pick rate.
Buffed Caustic. That's the buff we need.
All right, enough shenanigans. We got to get into what is going on for today and let you know where things stand, because, of course, we have played 2 rounds. How does it shake up? Who's on top? Let's check out those leaderboards. It's Optic Gaming, number 1. With 122 points, clearing the rest of the lobby by 13 points after yesterday's
os meninos em quarto aí, ó.
But it's EXO, the team you mentioned, Genome, right behind them.
Yeah, they've been doing so well, haven't they?
And, SM7, mano.
It really does feel like a meta that is definitely supportive of their play style, because they're extremely aggressive. And one of the big things I want to note is that if you look at the top 20 teams here, very few of them are hard rotate teams.
Right.
There's a lot of extremely aggressive teams in here, and only a scattering like, we've got maybe GMT or Dark Zero, a couple there that want to get into zone early. The rest of the ones who have been doing well in day 1 are the ones who are out there picking up the frags.
James, looking at the teams who haven't made it yet, they will be, if it stays as this, in our losers bracket final today, having to fight for a chance to stay alive. What are you thinking about this?
This is the danger zone that we're looking at here, and names that you don't want to see there, the likes of Alliance, the likes of Team Burger, who are on the precipice, and there are some burgers in the crowd as well. Crazy Raccoon, we'll see if they can improve their position. Those are the key names which are standing out to me more than other ones here in that second half of the table.
The crowd getting very excited. We love to see it, man. This is just a special thing. Just letting the moment hang out there. This is fun. Of course, we are just kicking off our day. And if you're joining us in the Apex Legends viewership kind of funnel, we have a lot of great ways to make things a little bit more enjoyable for you. I'm talking about multi-view, meaning you get to choose your narrative of how you want to watch the ALGS. It's brand new in Season 2, and we've added a lot of functionality to it so that you can decide which teams you care the most about at home on Twitch, allowing you to hear their in-game audio, but also follow their rotations, follow every final circle, every clutch fight, every moment that you don't want to miss. You don't have to now with multi-view, and especially with our Twitch extension as well. This goes hand in hand If you download that Twitch extension in your Twitch browser, you'll be able to actually see updated stats, kill leaderboards, in-game statistics that you wouldn't even know, and also you'll have a fight indicator, which I always like to bring up. If a team is starting to fight, our observers love this one as well. You'll see it flash yellow. You can change over to the action. A lot of great things happening for us here, and of course, if you want to know how the crowd is feeling about that, maybe not hype about multi-view here. They don't need it. They've got the best view in the house, that's for sure. ALGS is a whole vibe. I wholeheartedly agree. But if you are still watching from home, we're hooking you up. Don't worry. You're missing out on some of this, but you're not missing out on much because we've got Twitch drops coming up for you as well on Sunday. And that is going to be a great opportunity for you to get some cool gear very, very free.
Yeah, nice Revenant skin. I love me my BM characters, and he is certainly one of them, but I think that charm is going to be real nice. I'm going to have the stream open on the laptop, on the deck, that's it for sure. I'm going to be logged in because I want my holo sprays to drop on them boxes.
Yeah. We saw a nice throwback yesterday with the red
Drop
tank.
it now.
It was, I think brought it out at one point at least, so just a little splash.
We saw Newcastle. We saw Fuse in there. Zero Tricky starting to throw that out here on Fury, a team we haven't talked about, but we need to. But before we do that, let's talk about, of course, what has been in the hands in terms of Apex Legends fans for the last couple of months. That's Apex Legends Mobile. We have a brand new battle pass, a brand new character. If you haven't seen the trailer, go check it out. It's been shared by all the Play Apex socials. It is phenomenal. And of course, I'm talking about Rhapsody, the brand new legend to be introduced. Pretty cool. I know the Apex fans are a little jealous. I think we're a little jealous. We don't get to play Rhapsody on here. We don't get to see her on the main stage yet. But when it comes to Apex Mobile, you'll definitely have all those opportunities. All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, it's been a great start to this, but we got to start talking what's happening today. And of course, I've got two of the best in the business to break down in their mind who it's important to focus on and who we maybe need to pay a little bit more attention to on day two. All right, James, as the crowd is going wild, people are clearly riled up. Who's got you a little excited this afternoon?
All right, well, there were a lot of questions coming into yesterday, especially for the APAC teams. Can they deliver, or are they going to be people who only can play in their own region? The first one we're going to watch today is Dreamfire. They are doing really well at the moment. They came into this week with $125,000 in prize money, and they're looking to do more. They've got some standouts on the team as well. Roy certainly comes to mind. He's got some huge clutch. We saw great performances from him yesterday. Good enough for a 5th place overall. The question is, can they continue that now as we start to get into the murky water where people might go home?
And then, of course, EXO, we've already talked about them.
Não, dava ter pegado,
You know,
Bus.
thinking about
Tranquilo.
the history of this team in APAC South, for the longest time, they were a top 2 team in the region. They had to retool a little bit. Chambers, one of their long-time players, decided to retire from Apex, and they replaced him with Ziki, someone who they played with, you know, maybe 2 years ago, I think it was. And he's really shown that in all that time, he hasn't lost his sharpness. And as a result, EXO have been putting up result after result. And as we talked about before, 2nd on the leaderboard.
1 point behind them, though. One of the stars of the show yesterday,
Make some noise.
Furia.
Yeah.
Now, I think if you look at his Watson, let's talk about arrogance. If you believe in yourself, you're not shy to say that. Is that arrogance if you deliver that? I don't think it is. I think you make it a fact. He certainly did that yesterday. Furia have been missing in the past. With this new roster, they have been smashing everybody. Now, I want to know, are they going to be in contention for that #1 spot today? Well, are they going to be looking at Optic?
You mentioned arrogance. Pride comes before a fall, but with Furia and these teams, they've only been rising. Those have been the ones we've been paying attention to today, and we'll see if it pans out the way we expect. All right, fellas, it's time to kick this off. Of course, we are not the only ones who are going to be broadcasting today.
We're the most important ones.
Okay, you know, that's your opinion. I tend to like what we got going on. But in our group, we get to see, of course, the winners of Sweden, our biggest event in 957 days leading up to that moment just a couple of months ago in Dark Zero. Jen Burton, Sharky, Zero, back in action. And we've got a lot to talk about with them. They've got fans all around the world, but they've got to go against Optic, TSM, teams that have already proven that, especially Dreamfire, in the total scheme of things, Gino, they're not to mess with.
Yeah, all 3 of those teams, right, in a good position so far. And, oh, man, we've got some big fans in the crowd. Yesterday, Team Burger was saying they had 1 fan. in the crowd. They've multiplied. I can see multiple up there with the burger logo ready to go. So I'm glad that the APAC teams are getting even more love.
On the secondary stream, though, James, we've got some great teams competing as well. Nice Wig and Greek God will be covering that. If you don't know, go to Nice Wig's stream. He is covering all of that action. Of course, we're seeing a little bit of a mix-up here. We've got A on our stage today, but we are going to be seeing B versus C, and that's going to put the likes of Fnatic, NRG, Liquid, Cloud9, who we've been talking about, GMT Esports. I saw Rambo in the elevator today. He said, you know, I was honestly flying in yesterday, kind of shaken up a little bit. Now I'm feeling better. It feels like we have basically been playing together for years. I'm excited to see what they do.
Yeah, one of the names that we haven't mentioned there was Scars as well. You know,
that's right.
Going back to Sweden, for Mandy, that was a very emotional time, but now he's got the chance to perform and not be a bystander. So far, so good. Today's another big day for them as well.
I think that emotionality is something that you have to feel. Team Burger Chance coming from our right, walking down, you see people yelling, saying hello, encouragement. Hal mentioned it in his interview yesterday, Genome, that it means a lot. You
mano,
have an opportunity to see and connect with these people who have been rooting you on from a distance.
O raciocínio dele está
That's not
devagar
motivating, he said,
no...
what else will be?
And I think that's interesting that you bring
Como é
up
que fala, mano?
two different sides of the
Tá
spectrum.
devagar muito,
Hal,
mano.
someone who obviously gets
Na hora na hora que voa cavalo, que eles não sabem
some amount of
onde vai parar, mano.
love and you know,
Sure.
he wants to be worthy of that huge fan base that
Ready,
he's got, right? Compared to some of these other teams who haven't had you know, a LAN performance before, who might not have a massive stream to fall back on, those guys loving the fact that they're getting some of that love from the crowd.
James, I want to go, I don't want to mess up the quote. Yesterday you had one about something about legend compositions and staying a little bit more conservative or consistent. Can you remind us of what that means and how World's Edge might play to that?
Oh, well, what I said is, actually, I can't remember now. I can't believe you've done this to me.
Remember.
Anyway,
You interrupted me yesterday to say it.
What I'm interested to see here is how compositions will change from World's Edge to Stormpoint, because that is important. It's not a copy and paste job. It's a different environment, and you need to react accordingly. And we can see the most common ones on the screen now. Lots of Caustic, which I love to see. Lots of Watson, which makes me even happier, believe it or not.
Maybe more surprising is the fact that Gibby Valk Seer is the second highest picked composition, and I think that just gives us, again, another vote of confidence for why Seer belongs in this meta. I'm also, Genome, excited to see the Watson Crypto Valk team composition, abandoning the Caustic, abandoning the traditional Gibby, and going for something completely different, which I think has actually been pretty exciting to watch.
Yeah, it's a cool composition, right? I think we've seen some North American teams pick it up, if I'm not wrong, maybe in addition to the APAC North teams that were running it a lot. And you know, we saw them almost splitting, you know, Gibraltar usage and Watson usage as that fortified character.
Yeah, well, we've got a lot going on, James. Sorry to interrupt you, but you might have a moment to speak on this. The talent predictions are in to kick off our day because we are ready for the game. We are just moments away from day 2 beginning here. I've got Dark Zero. I think we know why. I've talked a little about it. James, who do you got and why?
I have gone for Alliance. Now, again, there are so many teams for us to talk about. We won't get the time for all of them, but they're a team who I think are going to gather their information from day 1 and come in to smash on day 2. So I'm expecting a lot from that team today.
Genome, James, thank you so much for your analysis. Genome, specifically shout out for the nice Telestrator segment. We hope to see more of those throughout the day. All right, day 2 is about to begin. We are moments away, and I'm going to throw it to the best casting duo in the business. On set. No, I'm just kidding. It's Vicky Kitty and Fallout. Go ahead and take it away.
God damn!
And enjoy.
It's barely 11 a.m. My man Evan's throwing shade already at my slip-up yesterday. But hey, Fallout here alongside Vicky Kitty. You call us the best casting duo in the business, but guess what? We get the best crowd in the business here. Apex family, Apex community showing up big time for day number 2. And Vicky, honestly, day 1 felt like it was Championship Sunday.
Absolutely, and that kind of puts a mood right now to what we can expect for day 2 and forward for the rest of the weekend. I'm really excited to see this last group stage really play out because this is what makes it or breaks it for a lot of the teams that are going to be situated in the winner's bracket and the teams that are going to be falling into the loser's bracket.
That's an absolute fact. This is the last chance, last opportunity, last group stage matchup. We got Group A versus D on the main stage, Group B versus C on the side station. We'll keep you updated on the scores for both throughout. And on screen right now, you got the absolute killer Skittle Cakes. If you're a fan of Skittle, and King Dupe on the streets. The duo, longtime teammates, was chatting with them late night in the hotel lobby yesterday and had a chance to finally hear their story from their perspective. And it's fascinating. All 3 players on Optic Gaming started on Xbox. They were top-ranked Xbox players. They grinded on controller. A year and a half ago or less, Skittlecakes and Dupe switched to PC, switched to keyboard and mouse, and immediately rose to be the top players in North America. It's a crazy story. They were with Verholst, also an Xbox player back then. They pick up Noct, and they've been dominating.
What's really impressive is to see how these type of players are able to make that transition and still be key to whatever they could provide here on the team. And they're still continuing on with that consistency. See if they can continue on their domination, though, from day one going into day two.
That's right. We got a little cheeky fan favorite here. Team Burger. If they're going to eat today, crowd, let us hear it. For the Aussies, Waltzy joining this team after doing so well with Sutaraiku in the last tournament. They've looked good so far, but they got to perform today. They're one of those teams that are kind of on the fringe here a little bit, Vicky.
It's nice to see that the champion squad was left with TSM after their performance just yesterday here. Here's the crowd, guys. For these guys watching at home, we're getting started here for game number 1 in day 2. Last remaining group stage matches that we're going to have on this stream. There's more group stages playing out on Nice Week stream. In stream B, don't forget it, guys. It's all the Apex action coming to you all day long.
Mete bora, 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 bora.
We go. Match number 1 to kick off Friday, our last day of group stages. We got Group A, we got Group D. We have multi-champions in this lobby again. It's TSM, Optic, Dark Zero, AD and Crazy Raccoon, multi-champs from APAC North, Ascend, your Split 1 playoff champions, 100 Thieves, your ALGS champs from last year, Space Station Gaming, Alliance, Dreamfire, all teams that have one major competition, and they are all in this lobby, Vicky.
Hey, that's why when I was taking a look at the wins from day 1, I had to look at Optic with those 3 wins. TSM, of course, coming up on top. Dreamfire with 2 wins there, too. Now we get to see our drop cells. We get to see the circle and where it's going to pull us for game number 1. And we may have a very similar circle to what we had just yesterday in game 2, game 3, where it may be pulling a little bit on that north side of Thermal Station, where we saw TSM, Imperial Howl, and Reps as a duo completely duke it out north of Thermal Station.
You hit the nail on the head. Optic Gaming ended up winning that one, but TSM had such a good run, so they like to play Edge, but that was a completely different comp. They were playing Mad Maggie and Seer. They were fighting on Edge. This time with Caustic, they went back to their bread and butter. They went back to the safety. We'll see how they fare on this zone. Alliance obviously dropping Thermal Station. They'll get Godspot. They'll get their pick of the litter here. Meanwhile, Team Burger at Tree, expected early rotation from them.
Yeah, I'm going to see here, you see Alliance. So usually landing in Thermal, they're going to be able to have that control over there, seeing if maybe there's a beacon that they could utilize off to the side.
Isso aí mesmo, filha.
Look at AIM Esports.
Aí fala rápido pra caralho, né, mano? Não dá nó na língua.
Note here, it's going to be shotgun season. If you didn't get tired of the PK yesterday, you're definitely not going to get tired of it today, because we got the purple shotgun bolt in the replicator for the day, as well as the thermal sight.
That's right. We saw some insane plays with the PK yesterday. Skittlecake.
Mas TSM tá jogando aqui, sim, tá aqui, mano.
Himself panders on Furia with some insane controller PK shots. Expect a lot more of that today, like you said, with the shotgun bolt in the replicator. PK currently in meta. Used to be the AVA 8 a little bit ago. A lot of people have been running with the PK instead. And obviously, if they get a Mastiff through a supply crate, they'll likely pick that up as well. As we're on board here with former Kick Esports. That's Iarka, Uchako, and their substitute, Drovic.
See, they're already making the rotation. They have the information of that beacon there too, so as they're quick with the rotation, I'm expecting maybe today with a different approach. I mean, after what we had seen yesterday, we saw some composition changes by the end of the day. What do you think, Follow? Do you think a lot of these players are going to try to opt to actually just sit down in that final circle positioning to prioritize that? Do you think you're going to see a lot of high-octane action like we are right now with Space Station? They're looking fantastic with those Evo shields already.
Yeah, I mean, as this fight breaks out, to answer your question, it is group stages still, so we will see a lot of aggression in these group stages, as we see right now. It's VJ, post-kill and Kashera Ascend, the champions of the Split 1 playoff. They picked up VJ, and they've looked so incredibly strong. He's coming from Iran, one of the few players from the Middle East, and has been performing so incredibly well in this EMEA region. But take a look at their team comp. They are running a Valkless team comp here on World's Edge. I love the Wraith pick from them as IG finds himself in a fight.
And talk about Valkless compositions here. IG are going to be forced inside this building. They don't have a Caustic here. Oh, bonk on the head real quick with that grenade. Backing up as they lost out on Parka. Try to watch out for that door. They're blocking that door, but they're trying to determine whether they want to try to fully send it here. IG International looking great in terms of health.
Yeah, I think in this position, AD's best bet is to back out and not fight this. It's a 2v3, pound for pound, but Obley's going to say, nah, he knocks one card, who goes down, and just like that, AD, my pick, eliminated from this lobby. Goodbye and good night, AD. The Koreans get taken out.
What's crazy is I was asking you that question. Are we going to see a much slower pace so far? Are we going to see these players kind of determine what they're going to aim for in this group stage? No, it's straight up fighting. We have a lot 2 squads off the rip right now. Circle 1 is now just closing, and there are still 18 squads here as Zeta Division are looking on the chaos. They see that the fight is already over, so they know that they cannot third party at the moment. They're just going to overlook the action.
Yeah, we know Zeta is one of the most aggressive teams in EMEA. They full send and they don't care. Of course, coming from the CIS or Eastern Europe region. Branches and Co. Unfortunately not here. Team Empire, their peers who are also aggressive. But look at this, Orthros Fang is actually ratting, and they find themselves an absolute field day here, connecting for so much damage. Tenorin's going to knock Impulse.
This is great too, because Orthos also heard the fighting going earlier. Where'd that bullet come from? Now Orthos going to back up. They're like, all right, we managed to get that knock here. They're going to just back up a little bit. They saw that there was another squad on the other side of the team that they were trying to pinch. Zeta Division are going to have to take that loss, and they're going to have to actually back away here. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like they're able to get Impulse's banner in this situation.
They'll be playing as a team of 2 here. Sunset, former member of Gambit, played alongside the players, now FA Kitty squad, Hardeki and Co. before they picked up the God squad of Artico, Liogri, and Hardeki. Of course, Artico not playing in this competition, but FA Kitties looked really, really good yesterday. You can catch
não, vai pegar o banner.
As Zeta Division is going to be forced to rotate here. 9imps used to play on Navi. Taskmaster.
Pensei que não ia pegar o banner do cara. É louco? A mão ali pra pegar.
No man left behind.
I love it.
Love it. They had to wrap around. They still managed to obtain that banner. I mean, it's key here. They don't want to play this out as a duo, especially it being game number 1. Can determine a lot here to see how comfortably you could play throughout the next remaining 5 games.
That's right. Taking a look here at Taskmaster. I mentioned burst onto the scene in the late ALGS online tournaments, maybe online tournament 5 or 6 with Magicians, a team that was known to just play so aggressive, had a stint on major pushers. And look at the stats here, playing on Valkyrie. Lots of damage done. That's what you expect from this region. That's a sub-region within EMEA, CIS, Commonwealth of Independent States, known to play so incredibly aggressive, fast, fun to
SMG
watch.
tá aí, pai. Ó, que escutar o revive aí, você vai ver.
Artico, without the likes of Empire here, certainly an absence or a gap, but Zeta is looking to show they can still represent the entire region.
Zeta now playing on the top of construction site. They do know that there could be squads in the area. We do know that there is TSM up north, and as they do travel up to that northern building, they know their priorities, which is going to be that beacon where we see time before. And with that note, they're also going to be able to maybe try to Valk ult closer into that circle. But this information obviously is key, where you see a lot of these teams prioritize that off of the rip.
Yeah, it's interesting. You know, I tweeted yesterday, quick kind of summary and synopsis of TSM. Their switch from Maggie and Seer to Caustic and Gibby. And I asked, are you guys going to start playing early rotate, or are you guys going to continue to play edge and fighting? And they said it depends. It really depends on the zone, depends on the situation. We're ready to play both play styles. We're ready to adapt. And that's exactly what you see here. Despite running a very early rotate type of comp with Caustic, where you can kind of post up with barrels and chill, they're actually playing edge instead, and they want to take some fights here if they can with any teams that might be rotating from Skyhook.
Yeah, I like how you were able to talk to them a little bit about making that swap where Verholz is on the Caustic and Hal is repping the Valkyrie instead. He could feel like he could just get that get out of jail card a little bit quicker, just reposition quickly, and that's really key here, especially when it comes to other Caustic teams that you know are going to be bunkering down in this building.
Yeah, that's right. For anyone that kind of missed the tweet or maybe is new to competitive Apex, Verholst is the Valkyrie player on this team. He's one of the best Valkyrie players in the game, in my opinion. But in talking to Hal, he said, I don't feel like I can IGL on Caustic. It's so hard to get vision, visibility to make the right calls. So they actually swap, and Verholst is humble enough to say, I'll take Caustic, I'll play on my off legend so I can let the best IGL in the game do his thing.
Zeta Division now going to prioritize the Replicator real quick here. Did see earlier that AD was within the area of Fragment. Not too sure if they've already rotated out here. It looks like they may have actually. So they actually are already prioritizing Harvester. TSM, though, playing outside the circle. They're okay with taking some of the circle damage to make sure that no other team is slow rotating, which we've seen before, especially teams like just yesterday, actually, Team Liquid that prioritized the Replicator and actually playing outside the circle, slow rotating in, could be some of the game plans that we see from some of these teams. But not going to happen this time around as TSM. They get the beacon, and now they're going to be able to go into that next circle.
Well, let's take a look here at the map and see, is there anyone behind TSM? Why are they so cautious? And the answer is no. Maybe they're just paranoid. Because for a team that's rotating late, they've been griefed before by a team ratting in zone. We know teams like old Furia roster like to do that, but not here, not now. TSM at the very top of the northern zone here, playing hard edge. I don't know if they're aware of Zeta right to their left in Fragment, picking up the scraps that TSM left.
Zeta was close by to them. I feel like they do have on their side.
Right?
Yeah. And, you know, they wanted to take their time there at the same time to see where TSM want to rotate, as TSM is rotating away closer towards Landslide. The slow rotate here, I mean, they could afford that. They have the Valk, as there are some fighting already happening. Orthos Fang falling pretty low here. You see them trying to restabilize. A lot of these teams already taking up the real estate over by Thermal, and that's going to be key here because aside from TSM and Zeta, everybody else, and including FL, actually kind of hanging around Dome, has already infiltrated a lot of these buildings inside Thermal Station.
That's right. Orthos Fang from Japan Japanese region known to have quite a few controller players. Pinatur, who's not competing with Fennel, is one of the top controller players in the region. Also an absolute savage in terms of his interviews. I love that guy. As we're on board right now with a little bit of a cheeky around the door battle here between Burger, staring contest, if you will.
Let me in.
Ah, pega, moleque. Agora o bagulho vai ficar louco aí.
And that's one of the best things about Caustic is your ability to block doors. And actually, I was talking to Hardeki about that.
Caralho, os caras não entrar mesmo, hein?
At Mill anymore because Optic's ability to use Caustic to block doors is too strong.
It's crazy, especially when there's so many other teams in this area. The last thing you want is to get pinched here, and then the squad inside of the building to actually push out and have the opportunity to go for a third party, scoop up any of the other players that they see are low. There's already a team right off to Orthros Fangs right here. They have to watch out. More teams make their way into Thermal, but they're going to take their time right here by the Caustic Tribes.
Yeah, and this is something you see often here, especially with Thermal Station finishes. It's kind of awkward staring contest and fight and standoff outside of the donut building. But the team that has the advantage is certainly the team inside. Obviously, they're safe with cover, and there are so many teams nearby. Still 18 squads remaining. So I guess that answers your question a bit, Vicky. This is slowing down quite a bit. But if you're Orthros Fang right now, you are nervous because you can get third party in an instant.
Yeah. Seems like Fennel, who are just taking their time to slow rotate away from launch site, are just avoiding a lot of that chaos, but they're going to be late to the party. Optic Gaming now, you see Knocked. Finding some shots here off to the side. Optic Gaming in a bit of a difficult situation, but they're pinned between two rocks to cover the line of sight to their back. But for how long here? Look at the Watson fence. It's like Picasso out here. 100 Thieves taking some notes and rocking some pretty nice Evo shields too, looking at Onmu with the gold.
Yeah, 100 Thieves, for those that maybe did not see yesterday, a very interesting team comp. They are the only team rocking Newcastle. I know that Cloud9 was thinking about busting it out. Alberelli is a big fan, but they're going Newcastle alongside Watson. So really, really interesting team comp for them. We'll see if it works out for them. Didn't have the best day yesterday, and we'll see if they go back to Ash.
That would be the chaotic chain CC, the EMP to delete the dome, and here comes the Crypto Drone, but again, right behind them. Knocked, unfortunately getting knocked here. Optic Gaming left as a two-man, but they're pinned between two squads. If 100 Thieves decides to push this, they're going to be able to sweep up from right underneath Optic Gaming, but they don't want to give up this spot either.
Uchaka with the wingman to the face gets one. 100 Thieves wants to join the party, just maybe. Knocked, currently down, leaving the duo. Duplex, Skittle Cakes, transition to keyboard and mouse less than a year and a half ago, has been merged as, in my opinion, the best duo in all of Apex. 100 Thieves must have seen that knock and decides not to push. AYM or AIM's going to back out as well. So again, Optic always finds a way to get out of these situations, and they'll do it again. They're going to get a res on knock, most likely.
Yeah, I'm wondering here, who's behind 100 Thieves in this situation? Is it Ace? It could potentially be. They're going to destroy the pollen, put another one real quick here, so that way they could boost up some of those Evo shields. Another EMP. Can Optic Gaming catch a break here? It doesn't seem like they can in this situation. Everybody knows that they're pinned in this situation, but nobody wants to overcommit.
That's right. Their survivability is so strong, but here's the thing. In my eyes, if you're 100 Thieves, if you're AIM, send. I mean, you have an opportunity. I know there's Caustic Barrels, you have Skittle Cakes, one of the better, or in my opinion, actually the best Caustic player in the world, but you have a 3v2, and you got to take some risks if you want to get points and secure yourself a top 20 finish. So instead, they don't. We'll see how Optic plays this, because guess what? We're going to jump into a listen-in with Optic Gaming.
On me. Got him. Caustic's running. Rip this fucking shit. Thanks for Godspot!
Their Caustic's blue armor. This guy's gonna go back for his box. We might get another kill.
They're ready?
Oh wait, they're bubbled. I think they killed him.
Alright. Somebody needs to go loot that box. I'm just chilling here trapping out.
Alright, I'm gonna drop shit and go loot.
Don't get charged to death though. Caustic just got smoked over here.
Just watch over me, dude. In case I need your bubble.
I have 5 cells and 3 bats. I don't know what you guys have.
I have 5 bats, 8 cells. I can drop you a bat here.
Yeah, I got all this guy's stuff.
Does he have light?
No, he has heavy only.
Does he have medkits and shit?
I have syringes.
I only have 1 medkit.
I only have 1 syringe.
I have 2 syringes. Four. I'll drop all my syringes for you. Alright. I am 5 bats, 10 cells.
I'm gonna go put traps back here in the corner.
And there you have it again as the crowd erupts with the duplex chant here live in PNC Arena. Optic goes from shambles to success, from rags to riches, Knocked being downed and looking like they're going to get taken out, to securing Godspot. They are the best team at doing that. They're so incredibly gifted when it comes to secure the best position in the game.
Can we talk about how composed they were, too, in that troublesome situation with 100 Thieves to their back? 100 Thieves couldn't push because Ascend was also right there, too. So with Dark Zero and Ascend catching them, they couldn't fully send it onto Optic. So that was fantastic.
That's right, and that's the issue with this new 100 Thieves playstyle. You don't have Anmu on Ashe to play aggressive, to open the door for them. You need someone to play that role, and they don't have that because they're running Watson and Newcastle. So again, in my eyes, this 100 Thieves roster, maybe they know something I don't, but I would like to see Anmu back on Ashe. I'd like to see that aggression come through. It doesn't seem to be working as well for them this way around.
Love it. They know that there's a team playing right underneath this bridge. Don't think they know exactly who it is, but with us seeing TSM, they won't be able to climb up that zip line with the Watson fences right there. Sunset actually keeping an eye just in case. TSM going to play this patiently, but with a lot of these other teams making their appearance on the bridge, look at this. 100 Thieves are now moving in. C1 IQ over to the side, and Optic Gaming, like you said, and like we heard in the comms, they're at God spot. They're not going to be moving anytime soon. They're going to be able to contest any other team that wants to pass through that choke point.
Yeah, that's right. We'll wait to get the intel as to where this zone's going to pull, but something tells me the choke point that Optic has secured is going to be the right prediction here. These guys know the algorithms, they know the zone so incredibly well, but actually, as I say that, looks like it'll be going elsewhere. So TSM find themselves in a decent spot, not a whole lot of cover here to their name, Alliance, with Hotkeys, their IGL down.
If anything, Dreamfire looking fantastic. Nice damage. Ooh, man, you're
É
on
mó
fire.
bonito, hein?
Big
Eita.
for sure here.
Nossa.
International. He gets one knock onto Yuki with the thermite grenade. Let's see if Wives manages to get the res here. You see a nice little off angle, but Bryn's taking some damage to the side. He still manages to finish him off. IG looking fantastic right now. One left. Can he finish them off? He needs to be out of the line of sight of the other squad that's holding the high ground off to his left.
I love this from Bryn. I love this playmaking. That's
É
what
um
he's
só,
so
mano.
good
Vai deixar
at.
o cara embora.
Finds himself a great wide right angle. Great
Deixou
play,
embora.
and some way, somehow, no, Alliance gets taken out. Actually, a long-range shot comes through. So just like that, well played from Invictus Gaming with RKN from Torrent as an IGL sub. JMW on controller was the initiator there. He beamed.
Crazy Raccoon also scooping up the rest of that team there too. They're the ones that are on the high ground. Really good spot for them, especially looking at their composition.
Yeah.
Look at this. They got the Watson, they got the Crypto, and this is going to negate any sort of approach with any other Watson squads looking at Zeta who've been holding onto the bridge to try to fence off TSM.
With their team comp, Crypto and Watson, you got to say they're the best position to win this game here, Vicky.
They're looking really, really
Da
good right
porra,
now.
debaixo da
It's a
ponte, em
matter
cima
of
da
if they can
ponte.
hold that position. That is going to be the key here with other Cryptos in this lobby. That's TSM, by the way, that Crazy Raccoon has in their line of sight. They're just going to put in some extra dig damage. Doesn't matter, as Zetter does have that gold Evo shield, so he's not going to boost up any of that for
Ah, que o bagulho começar a fechar.
for his team in the future, but we can see where that next circle is going to be pulling, and this is going to be chaotic because some teams are going to be forced to play on the low ground, and that's going to be destruction. Now we can see TSM. They're happy to be patient on this bridge, but it's Crazy Raccoon that is going to have all the different teams in their line of sight.
Here we go. This is where Newcastle can be helpful, though, is on these late game rotates. And there you go. Newcastle's going to find themselves a positioning here on high ground. Shields dropped. A lot of defense coming through. And 100 Thieves is hoping that they find themselves a good position for this late game.
And with the ultimate accelerator, he wants to get another one of those shields up. We talked about it before. You highlighted it at Fallout between the Watson and the Newcastle. That chain stun as he gets that now moving up, managing to get Fraser down right here with the flat line. Sheer now is going to be able to move all the way up. They're going to be able to hold this choke point here too, forcing the other team to actually back away. But can they even have the opportunity after getting that crack on the belt?
King Kashera with the flat line, the heart and soul of the Portuguese community. He's showing up big time. His mom's in the audience watching as Kashera, the IGL for this team, continues to initiate such good damage done with the flat line. 30-30 in his back pocket as well.
See, Kashera's not going to give up this place tier 2. He's getting pinged actually by another squad off to the other side here. Love the Nox grenade at the same time. Covering wherever you're going to be seen in that line of sight. And that's going to be important here too because they do know that it's Bolin actually moving off to the side.
That's right. I love how Crazy Raccoon is playing this. That's one thing the APAC North region I think does not do a good enough job of is finding God spot, but then actually taking shots, taking some risks, and picking up some KP here and there. They're not aggressive enough. I like that Crazy Raccoon from afar is putting some damage on this fight. But here comes Dark Zero pushing up. It's going to be Zero, the champion from playoffs. Misses that one for the full spread at least. But the late dome shield's going to come through. It's going to help them big time.
We get to see Dark Zero at their prime for the first time on the main stage right here too. Here in North Carolina, they managed to try to get a knock here. Jen Burden now pulling up, finds post kill. Can we get another one? That's a wipe. Ascend getting taken out off the rip. They're going to be able to also get the res.
Caralho,
They're going to
mano.
be able to hide right behind that caustic trap.
Olha, mano.
That's what Dark
Você
Zero
já
is
tem
so
que...
good at. Those 3v3
Já sai
pure
tomando na
skill fights.
sequência.
Obviously, Jen Burton on controller in his debut on LAN shows up big time alongside the champs, Zero and Sharky. This is a team that's been dominating the Apex South region for so long. The question is, can they go back-to-back with a championship this weekend?
Crazy here, especially with Jen coming up to the reigns.
And especially with them moving, rumor has it they'll be moving to North America after this and competing in the North American Pro League. So this is their last chance to represent Australia and Apex South.
That's actually crazy. The amount of practice, too. It's going to be insane to see teams, especially like Dreamfire out here, who are still holding on to this position. The fact that they have the awareness to disengage out of that choke point, they didn't like that position. So they managed to back away now. They're going to be able to hold this left side, and they're going to overlook a lot of the action here as they jump onto the train tracks, though. Wondering if there's a team still to the left. I think TSM is also still playing off that low ground from the bridge area, too.
Like an obstacle course for Roy and the boys here. They're going to hop their way in and hope they find a good position and opportunity to reset. Apex South entirely runs this team comp. All 5 teams from Apex South, Caustic, Gibraltar, and Valkyrie is run board of Zeta Division running with Crypto and Watson. This is an aggressive Crypto Watson. Don't think they're going to play passive like the Apex North teams play. They want to fight.
Nowhere to run. You can't go anywhere to hide. Zeta Division, we're trying to actually find them off to the side here, but off to the side. 100 Thieves have been posted up in this spot with the Newcastle for a while. See Zeta Division now taking a nice little off angle, but they lose out on Taskmaster off to the right.
Hey, I'm looking at 100 Thieves, making me eat my words here. This defensive team comp working out for them because they're able to get God's
Nossa.
Dreamfire gets taken out to the back. Hands of Zeta. Zeta turns. They find one. It has to be Dark Zero. Surely they're going to get the damage in. Only down to 2. They got to be cautious because Dark Zero can fire. They can shoot. They can hit hard.
But it's important here. We have the Watson ult right now inside of this train cart, which means none of these teams can actually contest with any grenades. No Nox grenade either. So they're going to play off to the side, but the pylon now gets destroyed here. You see now the Arc Star's getting sent out.
And it's actually Team Burger, their Australian counterparts here, also equally as skilled, pushing, trying to see if they can take this 3v2. They have the numbers, and they want the battle. Here comes the push. It's going to be MT Fry from Team Burger. He connects for 1 knock. Zeta Division.
Caralho.
TSM right below them, Dark Zero nearby.
The crowd was giving all the love in the world to Team Burger, and all for the right reasons here, too. They've been playing so well now. They're going to be able to play this passively off the edge of the circle without having to overcommit and put themselves in a bad position. Now wondering, is TSM still playing off of that low ground here, or have they managed to actually make their move?
What a late game this is. Look where the zone's pulling, right to 100 Thieves, right to TSM, right to Crazy Raccoons. It's a stacked sandwich here, an Oreo cookie. We'll see which you like the best, the cream or the cookie, as TSM and 100 Thieves looking to represent for North America.
Sometimes in this sniper tower, you see it's double stuffed out here. You see Dark Zero also moving in from the low ground. TSM has them in their line of sight. They also still have the Nox traps set up here off to the side, so that way they can utilize it for some extra makeshift cover. Off to the high ground here, though.
A rare missed grenade right there, but yes, high ground and DT. Look at Hal trying to get angles. Wide right, gets some damage, and is it enough to push? Probably not. They will get third-partied instantly, so TSM has to play this really slow. Missed the thermite earlier. He wants that one back. But the damage comes in from the CEO. He connects his Verholz knocks Sharky. Dark Zero. You may have won in Sweden, but TSM is back.
I know Dark Zero is still here. They're going to be able to try to get that finish, but they can't try to push in off to the side because then they'll be in the line of sight of that team that's holding onto the high ground right here. The lead that is Team Burger, as 100 Thieves have not given up this high ground. They know that Team Burger is right across from them inside of that train cart.
Crazy Raccoon right below them. They're going to have to drop and fight here momentarily. Look at Crazy Raccoon just waiting. Oh my God, he went for the stick. You're insane. Center, the substitute for Raz is going to hit so much damage here as he finds a way to survive for now, but they're going to have to drop.
Here we go, TSM now, still playing off the low ground. They already utilized the dome right now. See which of the other teams drop from the high ground. That probably is going to be 100 Thieves as they manage to take out one of the members of Team Burger.
Oh, I love this play from Hal. He gets high ground. Hal finds a way to play, uses the knockdown shield to survive. 4 spots remain. Hal gets 1. Hal turns, looks for a second. He gets 2. Hal in a 1v1 for the bread.
Oh, Verholz is right there now. Oh, here, no, he got to get that.
Nossa senhora, olha isso, mano. Cê é louco, os caras são foda, mano. O cara voltou com raiva hoje. Cê é louco, Bus. Cheguei a me arrepiar agora, moleque. Olha os moleques pura calma, mano. Olha só, cê é louco. Cheguei a me arrepiar, mano.
The fact that they were able to play off of their positioning from underneath.
Os caras voltou com sangue nos olhos. Cheguei a me arrepiar, mano.
Stay out of the chaos. Then rotate while everybody else is fighting upstairs to then play underneath that sniper tower where 100 Thieves stayed posted up with the Newcastle from the very middle part of the game is insane. They eased their way into from that final circle closer to the middle, and that dome was amazing at the end there too, because it bought them a lot of time to wait for the other
Ah, daí
to
o filho do Mr. Bean. Não parece filho do Mr. Bean ele?
I'm gonna go back to the
O
comp
Hal.
discussion for 100 Thieves. That's what happens when you don't have a Gibraltar, you don't have a Caustic in a late game, and those are two vital late game champion or legends that are going to make all the difference. You need the defensive bombardment, you need the late game dome shield, obviously a lot of defense and a lot of ability to get good positioning, but your inability to finish a game because you don't have the utility is really costing 100 Thieves here.
Really is, and you know, I like their game plan though with the Newcastle.
Você é louco, eu tenho que pegar uma água ali, mano. Essa foi foda, mano. Os caras ganhou bonito, os caras é foda, mano.
Taking game number 1 with the crowd erupting with
Carai,
excitement
mano.
is a great way to start day number 2 here in the ALGS Championship.
That's an absolute fact. Let's take a look at the highlights from this one.
Ah, é mesmo? Pode crer.
Against AD, who I, of course, picked AD over Crazy Raccoon because they have a sub and I'm playing Raz. I may have to regret that one. Optic Gaming thought they had Godspot. Well, the answer was no. Optic Gaming gets positioning. That doesn't really do much for them in the late game. They end up getting taken out.
You know, I got a little bit of deja vu for that final circle 2 Fallout, because earlier on in the, I believe, split 1, when you and I were casting, we had seen how on the Wraith playing underneath that bridge where he did an insane Q to actually negate a lot of that damage. But it was actually the circle pulling further away from the bridge, which is something that TSM had predicted beforehand, which is why they didn't stay on that bridge.
That's right. Sharky hit them with an absolute brick right there, but it wasn't enough. TSM ended up taking them out. Burger was alive in a fairly good position here as they took out Zeta, but in the end, this is the play right here from Hal. He gets high ground for a split second, touches his toe, jumps, buys himself time, turns, and gets to the easy 1v clap against Valkyrie.
Não tomou dano ali, ó.
Connects for that as well. Him and Verhulst as a team of 2, sorry, not a 1v1, cleaned up this last and final easy kill, and just like the TSM with an insane late game finish and a 7-kill first place win. This is the TSM we know.
Kills,
they get into late game, not always
pontos.
a ton of kills, because they're not running that Maggie Seer comp anymore, but the placement points are vital.
It's extremely vital. I mean, you walk away with 12 points minus every kill being 1 point here, so 7 kills with the dub means that you're going to have those 12 extra points in your pocket. Team Burger, though, right behind them with 8 kills. They were actually cleaning up that side where the trade tracks are for that final circle, and they looked fantastic dominating that high ground.
That's right, I got to give a shout to Dark Zero, 6-kill game for them, so they're just 2 behind Burger, who's the kill leader in that one. They get 10 points. And then, of course, Dreamfire with an aggressive game. We know what Dreamfire is capable of. It seems like it's go big or go home for them, as they have these massive, monstrous, high aggression games, but they haven't gotten the placement that they necessarily need. IG picked up some kill points as well.
Yeah, looking on the other side of the page there, Optic Gaming actually.
Nossa, Optic Gaming, só matou.
Side by side with one another between.
Coitados, os moleques da Detonate.
I think I gotta ask you, what's happening with Alliance this weekend?
Detonate
I
Gaming.
asked the same question though a little bit when it came to the Sweden LAN, and I feel like there's a lot of
Os
pressure.
moleques
You have to
também
think
ali,
about it.
ó.
You're playing on a stage. The audience is here for cheering for everybody that you know, and it could be pretty intense when you know you may have the jitters a little bit, but we are in day 2. This is where it matters the most to determine what the seeding is going to look like for the bracket.
That's true.
Puta, essa menina fala muito rápido, essa mina, mano. Já não entendo o que ela fala. Tá falando desse jeito?
US obviously playing with a non-favorable crowd, to say the least. Maybe a TSM or Optic fan out there, I'm not sure. But hey, TSM performing big time. What a showing from them. Let's take a look at the secondary stream and see how NRG, Cloud9,
2 páginas de um livro, ela consegue...
Guess who it is? Furia.
Ela ficou em sexto lá, não.
Left off EXO as well, but Phoenix team with a must-perform game, must-perform series. That's a huge performance from Lusquin and the boys.
Caralho,
I'm really
mano.
excited to see what Furia's got in store for us throughout the rest of the day today, because this is a team that I've been looking at since they've been practicing for this championship.
Biggest thing I have to point out here, yes, Fnatic in Japan with 13. Element 6 with a substitute losing their IGL in the heart of this team, K. Swinney, the Frenchman, picks up Alpha Draft and still performing with an 11-point game. That's big. They are top 15, top 16 right now. If they can continue to pick up these 11-point games, that's great for them. Meanwhile, Luminosity with Complexity substituting, NRG showing up well, Team Singularity continuing to perform pretty well as well.
Wondering what the second side of this page looks like, especially Scars getting top 10 right here with that 2KP as we get to take a look at C9, Team Liquid side by side here. C9 though, managing to scoop up 2 of those kills, and going forward here, this is just game number 1. You saw Godfather, Godfire, I keep calling them Godfather because you know they just have that Mafia energy out here, especially after game number 1 in just day 1, but they're going to be on that second page and maybe a little bit more of a slow start for this team.
Yeah, Europe on this page, continue the big teams you expect to perform, continue to disappoint. Just after game 1 though, a lot of Apex to be played, but GMT and FA Kitties in last place that's going to be big. We're going to see if Hardecki and them can adjust. We know that they are getting their favorable drop spot in mill on Storm Point. When they get to Storm Point, I think they're going to be able to turn things around. They're not playing against Optic, which they're no longer going to contest, by the way, after learning their lesson yesterday.
No, I mean, it is Team
Pegar água,
Optic.
enquanto eles não somam
That
geral.
is in the overall standings, #1, with a pretty nice lead there, too. But that was just game #1 here for this Group A versus D. We still got a lot more action after this first game fallout.
Gets me all types of excited. We still got games 2 through 6. We're going to take a very quick break. We hope every single one of you at home is enjoying the action. We hope the crowd here at PNC Arena is enjoying the action, as we're going to be right back with game #2 after this.
Tá, porra, essa foi...
Monster Energy, the official energy drink of the Apex Legends Global Series.
A camisa dele dá pra fazer 2 pra nós, ô Bus. Uma pra mim e uma pra você. Calma aí, vai dar uma bugada aí, guys. Tô mexendo no bagulho aqui.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to ALGS Championship Day number 2. Fallout here, joined alongside Vicky Kitty as we get ready for our second matchup of the day, second game of the first series, last series of group stage. The stakes are certainly high, playing for winner's bracket or loser's bracket.
Yeah, you want to be in that top 20 spot if you want to find yourself in that winner's bracket. Even more important to stay in that winner's bracket, especially if you want to have a pretty nice, chill day tomorrow. But you know, it's all...
And tonight, by the way, the winner's bracket teams get to just chill. We're bringing some pros to the desk, by the way. Who do y'all want? Let us know in chat. Tweet at us, by the way, your thoughts. We'd love to hear them using the hashtag ALGS. We'll read some of your tweets on stream, maybe even display some of them on stream. At Fallout with 2 T's, at Vicky Kitty. Let us know your thoughts on which pro in winner's bracket you want on the desk. We're going to feature a couple later. Maybe Hal, maybe Sweet.
It's really nice to pick their brains, too, to see what their approach is for the next upcoming days, especially the most important day being that final day. But you know what? This is game number 2 in the last group stage that we have coming up soon. And it's nice because TSM, we had the TSM chants going down in the crowd earlier today before we dove into that first game. But then game number 2 now, it determines what we're going to see. TSM.
This man has a buff Valkyrie sign in the check. We get him out of here. Kick him out. Valkyrie does not need a buff.
No, please.
Oh my goodness, that's the most savage and outrageous.
We see more fireworks of Valks coming up in my games. The last thing I need.
That's
Look
what
at
I'm
these
saying.
TSM flags, though.
She's got a stun. She's got a little bit of everything. You know, she's got an easy road. I'm done.
None of that. The next thing she's gonna do is do my taxes. I don't need this happening out here. TSM looking unfazed though. At the same time, they're looking chill, but. It's nice to see that power up. You got the chance coming in. You feel that confidence. I know we heard from Hal earlier when he was on the stage, and we heard the interview from Banks that this is the motivation right now. The crowd is chanting our names.
Look at our production team, the best in the game, by the way. I love the PGL. Showing the pick rate. You're telling me we need a Valkyrie buff? No, I'm just playing. 98% pick rate here for Valkyrie coming through. Gibraltar right after. Caustic's been so vital. A lot of people thought Caustic, the nerf that came, ability to destroy barrels, would be a big, big nerf to Caustic. Well, nah. His ultimate is just too strong. His ability to block doors as well. But Seer at 24%, Watson at 20 is surprising.
Actually crazy to see here too. I honestly
I
would see the day where Gibby wouldn't be in that first place spot. It's Valk that takes that spot. I mean, she has been for quite some time for all the right reasons there too. It's kind of like, hey, you know what? We're getting pushed off by a squad. We're on the corner of the circle. Let's go redeploy. Right. But then it also brings its own risk later in the game.
Yeah, I mean, Gibraltar is critical because obviously you need the utility, you need the dome shield, you got artificial cover. But at the end of the day, Valkyrie is a must because what's the most important thing in this game?
Got positioning.
Positioning. Nailed it. That's exactly. I'll put you on the spot there. You killed it, girl.
Come on.
Sharing a brain.
Bora, solta logo.
Additional squads. You saw TSM kind of talking shop there, and I like the fact that they just won a game, but they're still having a conversation. I would love to be in their ears and in their comms and TeamSpeak hearing a little bit more about what they're talking about.
Yeah, it's nice. I get to see what the players are talking
about. That's the best sign in the crowd. We get a round of applause for that sign.
Let's go. That's what I like to see.
I love that. And every single one of y'all, I want you to make sure we're promoting every single team here. That's what we're here for, is helping everyone grow, helping the ecosystem grow. Let's make Apex the biggest esport in the business. Speaking of the biggest in the business, it's one of the biggest and best controller streamers in the business. Jen Burton himself, the legend, his family originally from Turkey, immigrated to Australia. He's going to be immigrating himself to Austin, Texas, rumor has it. His dad in the crowd, so much love for the entire family, supporting big time here. Jen Burton in his first land.
It feels surreal to be in this arena with so many legends out here like Jen himself, and it's nice to see just the positivity that these players bring into this community too. It's nice as they get set up. You can see the smiles on their face. They're looking confident. Again, 100 Thieves also right there, right behind them, just looking pretty excited. And then these teams just in general just are, honestly, they practice for this moment, Fallout. There's so much on the line, even in this group stage format.
Yeah, you know when the moment everyone fell in love with T-Burger was in Sweden?
Oh, yeah. I did.
It was the moment that Fussy gives the little wink on the screen. And it became a GIF that you can now tweet, literally. Shout out to Team Burger and the wink he got.
Or F-Chan from Bullrex when he was starting to flex.
Yeah, that's right.
He was like, you know what, Fallout?
F-Chan with the flexing.
Yeah.
And we literally just roasted him, but I don't think he had a word that we were saying. We were talking about him.
He was there to have fun, and that's the most important part.
Shout out to F-Chan. Big love, and so much love for F-Chan. Our obviously Japanese competitors, our Korean competitors coming from APAC North. We got APAC South. We got South America showing up big time. It is truly a global affair. And speaking of a team that needs to show up, it's that guy on screen, Yuki, the Chinese Englishman, alongside the two Swedes, Hakis and Wifes. Not performing up to par, up to their standards after dominating group stages in Sweden. Maybe they'll flip the script here. Maybe they'll do poorly in groups, sneak their way in, much like we saw TSM and RG and a few others do, and then dominate in the championship. We'll see if they can get there, though.
You know, I like the fact that you highlight the international talent that we have here, because I know we broke it down back in Sweden, but to also break down the amount of teams that we have representing different regions. We have 10 teams from North America, 9 from EMEA, 9 from APAC North, 6 from APAC South, and 6 from South America. So it's nice to see a lot of these teams come together as we get set up for game number 2, guys. We're about to dive right into it.
We got a little bit of Mexico love in the crowd here as well. Luminosity, Enemy Go obviously still representing. Big shout out to Ganjman, Steele, and the boys at home, who unfortunately could not make it. But we got so much love for y'all, so much love for Vicky Bland, really the entire Mexican community in Apex Legends. But here we go without further ado. It's game number 2 for the Apex Legends Global Series group stages. Last opportunity to make it into the top 20 overall standings, which will get you into winner's bracket. Bottom 20, they'll go into loser's bracket. It's this brilliant Apex Legends format by the commissioner, John Nelson, that gets me going, Vicky. I'm not going to lie. My first time experiencing a double elimination bracket in a battle royale and a match point format in Poland a couple years ago, I was sold. I knew this was the game that I wanted to commit myself to. I'm so grateful to be here, obviously. I love this format.
Yeah, I'm usually used to seeing this in the FGC, but to see it here in the VR really shows the consistency between a lot of these teams and the players themselves. Also, the stamina that the players are able to maintain here through the tournament. Now we get to see our next circle, and we are going all the way to the east side of things now, and it may actually be pulling...
SM aqui é a cidade.
All right, hear me out, Fallout. This could be one of those circles that could be a little bit south of Overlook that is out in the opening by the new area where you could approach through the vault area by Geyser. We've seen that happen before, and we actually saw a team like Suturaiku in the Sweden land dominate that spot alone where the crates are.
I love that analytical breakdown from my girl, Vicky, one of the best analysts of minds we have in Apex. She grinds, by the way. I thought you were going to tell me you were going to pull out a YouTube video you got of a situation where you...
Listen.
My girl, Vicky's literally always like, you got to check out my stats, bro. Look at my stats. I got a YouTube video. I got a clip. I got a clip. You watch me. I got 5 kills. I'm insane. I'm cracked. There was this time the circle was an overlook.
It's true, though. He's not lying.
It's pure passion, by the way.
But you know what? I get a lot of that inspiration for the players right here that we have on the screen. By the way, let's talk about Detonation Gaming. Unfortunately, we play this as a duo, but we see the Pathfinder and we see the Wraith, something that could be really entertaining here as they move away from Landslide.
That's right. And I want to also point out, we saw it in the map overview, Alliance with a little bit of a gift here. They get a hot zone, high tier loot for them, chance for a fully kitted weapon. We'll see what weapon that is, as I see them already pinging a couple gold accessories, attachments for their guns. And by the way, Alliance, in my eyes, does really, really well on these edge zones. They like to fight. They like to play aggressive. That, of course, was old Alliance with Hakis on Wraith, who, in my eyes, was a top 3 Wraith in the world, alongside Hardeki and Hal. Again, in my opinion, I think Sweets could be argued as well. But this is a much different Alliance here, a much different team comp. We'll see if they can play edge just as well.
You know, talking about where the circle could be potentially pulling for not just the second circle, but the third circle here, could also allow TSM, who usually always lands Frag East, to actually make those quick rotations like we're seeing from Zeta Division. So they actually may cross paths soon. But that means there's going to be a lot of action, because there's also that beacon and no name here as Zeta Division are going to take to the skies with the redeploy. You can see the passive scanning many teams. It looks like there's 3 teams already within this area. So these teams wasting no time in this lobby to actually take that final circle positioning. See Zeta Division prioritizing going all the way to Overlook. But for what I can see, there's already 3 to 4 teams already taking that real estate.
Wow. Early rotates from these squads. TSM rotating so incredibly fast. So again, different situation, different play style from TSM than we saw last game, where we saw them actually play edge. This is the zone they like to early rotate. This zone, for this reason, doesn't have a ton of real estate, so you're going to see a lot of early rotates coming through. But look at Dark Zero actually contesting TSM here.
I love this spot, because this is what we were talking about right before, where we could predict where the circle is going to be pulling. But is early rotating the move here, Fallout? Yeah, you have the Caustic. Yeah, you could block some of those doors, but there's going to be more teams that are going to be moving away from Geyser, and that's going to be Team Burger that actually may be rotating in that direction. So if TSM is inside of this vault spot, that means that Team Burger could easily pinch them, and Dark Zero could come and scoop them up for the third party.
Yeah. Wow. TSM thought they had to early rotate, thought they had time to maybe loot. I don't know if this is the favorable spot that TSM wants to go to late game.
Olha o outro chegando pelas costas deles lá.
Versatility or
Lá
adaptability.
dentro. O pau vai fechar lá dentro.
Very well, because guess who's camping quite literally outside this door waiting to prowl? It's Dark Zero. And speaking of Zero, I love the fact that Zero's playing a little bit of an IGL, kind of get some intel, rotate roll with Valkyrie, because she has that escapability. But the fact that Dark Zero has these caustic barrels outside this door means TSM can only walk out of one entrance, which is going to be scary for them. And they also have a team behind them. Optic Gaming and Brew will be rotating behind TSM. Oh my goodness. Can we take a look at the map here if we can? we'll show you exactly what we're talking about.
Yeah, we can show you guys where the teams are going to be rotating from too, especially since Optic Gaming, who usually lands in Big Mod, are already making the rotation. There's this little cheeky Valk redeploy rotation from Geyser that actually scoops around the mountain, and you could actually stay stationed onto the high ground of those big barrels by Overlook, and having that high ground could be key regardless if the circle ends up pulling in that direction or not, because that high ground could really show you all the other teams that are rotating away from the northern side of the map, like 100 Thieves, like Zeta Division. So TSM, they're stationed inside of here, so they won't be in the line of sight of teams that are rotating in that way.
Dreamfire find themselves on their late rotate and then fight early on. This should be a clean 3v3 here. We know Dreamfire likes to play aggressive with this caustic comp. Chinese organization, players from Taiwan, Bolin, Roy, who was one of the Monster MVP candidates yesterday, are nearby AD, their peers from Korea.
And Roy was actually insane. He was consistently doing over 2,400 damage, so that's why he was one of those MVP candidates. Let's see if he could replicate that here in day number 2. AD recognizing the situation, though, may want to backtrack, actually. It looks like they want to put in some extra loot, even though you currently see Karampe actually has 15 shield cells, so they're going to try to maybe take the longer route, trying to determine where they want to go, or if they want to actually use the redeploy instead here. So they're going to look to their backs to see if this is the team that is going to try to chase them through, or if they're going to have enough time to actually take the longer rotation out of here.
That's right. AD, you know we have Optic Gaming nearby. Obviously, this is a fight on the map. We know we have Optic Gaming that drops big mode on the south side of the map. We'll see if they wind up fighting TSM within Geyser Choke. But meanwhile, Dark Zero decided to leave that spot, which might actually help TSM. They just want to push this fight in Overlook. They want positioning. They want God Spot. Here comes Sharky, just slowly Gibby walking his way over.
Look at this. No squad has fallen just yet. Much slower pacing compared to what we saw in game number 1. And as I say that, Dark Zero already finding themselves in a fight. Burning falling really low. Zero losing out on his shield. Nicely timed dome, but again, there's still that squad right behind them. TSM may not give up that spot inside of the vault spot here, but this is good news for Dark Zero because they do know, and with that information, that there's already a team holding that back end.
Right. Alliance, again, well down in the standings right now. Needs a great finish to this group stage. This is their last opportunity. And again, those are maybe just tuning in or first time watching an ALGS LAN competition. It's brilliant. Group stage is kind of like pool play. 4 different groups or 4 pools. They all play against each other once. The top 20 teams in overall standings, you get points obviously with placement or kills. After all the matches or series, top 20 teams make it to the winner's bracket. Bottom 20 teams go down to the loser's bracket.
Who goes there?
This is big here, yeah. And Weiss is going to be spot out.
Caralho, vi esquadrão ainda.
Let's see if they can sneak their way through here. I believe that is Fennel, who's been playing outside the ring, by the way, since game number 1, so a much slower approach. Alliance looking to their corners, wondering who is here. Could it be a rat, potentially? They're going to take their time, and I mean, it is ring 1 here, so they could afford to do so. Using up that medkit, Alliance looking in every corner. They know that there's nothing to trust here, as they're going to be able to fully send it onto this player. Hockey's falling so low, but it was only one member here, Fennel, that's going to go down.
Oh boy, Fennel. Obviously a team of 2 from Japan. Fortunate they cannot be playing with Pinoter. Controller player, self-proclaimed best controller player in the Japanese region. We got quite a few. But Alliance takes them out. Nice job from Alliance. This is the edge fighting that they like. They're going to find themselves a few kills. 2 kills are ready for them. And they're going to continue to try and play aggressive on edge, take their fights, and their goal here, oh, look at this. Hockey's on Horizon, by the way.
All right.
Their goal is going to be to rotate into Godspot late game.
You know, it's funny. You noticed the Horizon. The first thing I saw was the turbocharger on the Hazard. That was my priority.
Controller
right
player, probably.
Well, I mean, come on. That's how we do it out here. But with the replicator in their hands, too, they're going to be able to take their time. Again, just to know for anybody tuning in right now, it's that purple shotgun bolt and the Digi-Threat that is in the replicator, as well as the wingman and the car that I know is Fallen's favorite gun. So Alliance now going to make this rotation with the gold helmet on the Horizon here, too. So that's also a really nice look for Hockeys.
I do like me a beam or 2 with the car. That is correct. I'm a fan. But obviously, with the wingman and car both in there permanently, teams have a decision. Do you craft a wingman? Do you craft a car? Rarely will you have enough for both. And typically teams are going to choose that wingman, especially if you have a controller player on your team. That mid-range wingman is too strong. Obviously, we have no design full. We got no snipe down players. We're used to watching melt with that thing. We still got some great controller players in this one. Obviously, it's not just controller. The flick of the wrist with the wingman is insane as well. on keyboard and mouse.
Ooh, and we get to take a look at where that next circle is going to be taking us. Follow. It does look like it's going to be exiting out of those bolt doors as well as those crates that we were talking about earlier on. Love to see that Optic Gaming's also looks like they may be on the high ground. We're going to have to see their peripheral view just soon to see where they're stationed up, because we did see that there were some teams on the bottom part of Overlook by the edge there. TSM has not moved from this spot. I'm wondering if there was an altercation between Team Burger, who was forced to wrap around that rock, but that also means that Team Burger had the ability to get that beacon to know where that next circle is going to be pulling.
That's right. Alliance looking like the Fury of old.
Meu Deus do céu, como que tá isso aqui?
Of loot. Meanwhile, look how stacked this late game is over towards Overlook. We got so many teams already early rotating. CR nearby. 4-7 playing with 2. I saw a 4-7 fan in the chat, or in the crowd, by the way, who literally just said woo. Shout out to you. Got at least one person representing the APAC North, but Optic Gaming find themselves another great position here. This is a good opportunity for Optic to win this game in my eyes. They have great positioning.
Yeah, in the case that the circle does pull to their left, where we're predicting in that open field where TSM is holding the border right there, Optic Gaming would be forced with their backs against the circle for the next 2 circles to have to play in a bit of an open ground. So conserving that dome is going to be key for the late game here if they just hold this position.
Meanwhile, elsewhere on the map, we know Dreamfire likes to drive countdown. I mentioned old Furia. By the way, new Furia would not sit in the zone. They want to just kill everything. So that's the difference with his Watson on that team. He's dominating right now in the secondary stream. But old Furia dropped countdown, and actually Dreamfire drops countdown as well. They find themselves in a potential engagement on the north side of the map near Epicenter with AD. Taking a look here, switching over. This is big. Dreamfire was one of our standout teams, top 5 overall, and no one would have expected that. They might have a fight against AD. This will be interesting.
I've been a big Dreamfire fan, just looking at the way that they've been playing since day one. That's why I have to give them my talent predictions. It mix things up a little bit. I told our producer back there that I wanted to make something exciting as I get to see that team right overhead them, just with that redeploying. Dreamfire trying to take some shots. Overzealous here. You know, I got to give him A for effort.
He hits us. Watch. Come on. Dang it. I tried. Tried manifesting, tried my best, you know. Instead, Roy, Tao, Bolin, they'll have to wait. They find another team, though. That's going to be actually same squad that actually rotates over to Fragment East. So not really a great rotation, a great use of the Valcult there. Maybe they want some loot. Maybe they want to use the replicator there. I think it's probably their decision.
And they're just noting to see if there's any other teams within this area. Looks like they were thirsty on some meds here, too. Looking at that one syringe in Parko's inventory.
Using that same windowsill we saw Verholst yesterday, as he almost was able to take out Fnatic in that building. Not the best showing from TSM in their debut yesterday with Maggie and Seer. Obviously they switch on over to Caustic. Speaking of TSM, they're currently in the same exact position over in the Geyser Choke, but guess who's entering? It's Alliance to the south of them. Alliance rotated through. If we can take a look at the map here and show you exactly what we're talking about. We got Alliance entering the Geyser Choke and looking to potentially fight against TSM. We shall see.
TSM tá lá
I mean, with
dentro,
TSM's composition, they're playing this slow and they're risking the late game here. If a team could actually come in behind them and they fully send on that team, preventing
Esse tempo que está ali dentro, hein?
ZZ to actually push in here, it's going to be crucial because these white Evo shields are going to be detrimental at the very end. That's going to allow teams to actually fully send it. And Alliance having the health advantage here with purple Evos, they do see that there is troubleness. You can see them being cautious at the same time. And you could only imagine that there's those caustic traps from Verholst already set up across the tunnel. So Alliance actually backing away, maybe seeing that this isn't the move that they want to go for. Team Burger did the same exact thing. That's why we mentioned why they wrapped around the rock.
That's right. So Alliance actually work their way back. They notice some danger, reset, take their time here. But we do have Alliance Buriram from Thailand, Lalabang on that team, I believe formerly on Made in Thailand, or Myth, entering the same Geyser Cave. And Verholst is going to go actually peek that and check. As we, again, just keeping you updated here, what we see on the mini-map, you'll see Verholst could get caught out here. Buriram is ratting. I don't think Verholst knows they're there, and Verholst is going to get tagged up. You see the shots come through. Verholst has been getting taken out early, leaving Repsenhal alone, but it looks like he will be able to reset.
Oh, he is actually able to get away. Wow. That was so close. He was looking to their backs too, feeling that there could be a squad that could be rotating in this direction. They were waiting there for a really long time when Team Burger was originally making the rotation away from Geyser, where Alliance just followed right afterwards. But Alliance, if they hear the fighting, Alliance may actually want to go in to hear what the party's all about.
Great point.
Where's my invite?
Yeah, expecting my girl's trying to party. She's trying to enter the fray here. A little North Carolina, not really a party town, but it's okay. I digress. TSM though, in shambles right now with in terms of loot. They got 2 gray shields. Verholst with the blue. They're going to give the blue to Verhulst because I think Reps and Hal, obviously on keyboard and mouse, want to get some long-range shots and taps in with the flat line, I'm guessing. But nonetheless, it's not looking good for TSM. It's looking a little bit bleak right now. I'd love to check in on other action elsewhere as we see Detonation Game, team of 2, putting in some work. Dreamfire finds himself in a fight.
Dreamfire now playing around the bubble at the same time. Look at these grenades coming out. Tao managed to get that the break right here.
Oh my, he just jumped over his PK shot. And that might have made the difference. He literally hopped over the PK shot and now turns it around. Zeta, oh no, it's AD actually with the skill nearby, and they find a way to survive, but for now, down to 10 HP. Can he get the bat off?
There's a team off to the right that's actually poking at them from afar there too, without even having to overcommit. At the same time, who manages to land at 10 damage with the PK right through the little window. Can he bait out to see if he can try to get a res? Maybe, if they can have the opportunity. He may not even be able to with that charge rifle actually doing a lot of damage off to the right. You can avoid the arc star, trying to go for a shield swap real quick.
Yeah, he's gonna get the shield swap and decides to shoot his gun.
Oh, okay.
For some reason, just wants to get a little, love tap in, saying, hey, miss you, bud. May you rest in peace. Pour one out for his dead teammate. Meanwhile, Karnpoo with Dreamfire outside, not looking good. Zone's gonna be in there perfectly, but they have to push. Dreamfire with 2v1. They're gonna clean that up very easily. AD eliminated again. Cashier taking out Dreamfire's Roy, as you got Dreamfire and Alliance gonna get taken out as well to the hands of 100 Thieves.
Oh, Space Station also getting eliminated off in the feed here. Ascent playing off the low ground. They're gonna have to get moving soon here, but this is great for them in terms of loot. Look at this gold mag on the R301. VJ is looking great right now before they try to take that zipline to see what's going on the high ground.
VJ on Wraith, by the way. I love watching some Wraith gameplay. The fact that we still have it alive, courtesy of Ascend and the Iranian Killer, believe a controller player from Iran. VJ joined this Ascend squad, formerly New Esports, took them to a championship back in the Split 1 playoffs as an underdog team, as TSM now turning and watching as the team's pushing.
Now this could actually spell doom for TSM. Yeah, they're in this fight right now, but this circle is actually pulling away from what they thought is going to be the final circle here. They're still in this fight with these caustic traps, getting so much space in. Verhulst throwing out the knock grenade here to try to prevent any kind of entry, at least from the side here. That does close in some space here for Reps, doing a lot of damage. A nice little 86, make it 2. Make it 3. Oh, he's managed to do a lot of damage, but he needs some backup.
Reps is not missing. Now it's up to Hal. It's up to Verhulst. The Q's gonna come through. They're gonna be stunned. That's big.
Oh!
Caralho.
Reps just went massive in the third party. Dark Zero hears and joins the party.
Is this enough time for TSM to restabilize? Dark Zero now coming in for the third party. Sharky falling really low.
There's no way. No way TSM does this. The ult gonna come through. Jen Burton doing everything, showing so much respect to TSM here. They're gonna use all their utility, and they will surely clean this up, Vicky.
Oh, Reps gets taken down right now. It's a 2v3. Imperial House so low at the moment. Imperial gets taken down now, only up to Verhulst. He's on the caustic. He doesn't have that momentum and that mobility on the Valk as they get taken out. In 14th place, it's Dark Zero with the timing. Notice that they were waiting outside for this opportunity the entire time.
That's called
SM segurou demais ali dentro, mano.
We called that out a little bit earlier in the day, and here we go. Dark Zero capitalizes. By the way, they rotated pretty far, but that's what they do so well. They have basically a straggler who's always rotating, always getting intel. They heard the noise, they heard the fight, and they took advantage. Zeta now find themselves in a fight.
Now, giving up that space actually spelled doom for Darkfire here. Zeta Division now, Sunset now landing those shots. A Spitfire coming in. Detonation Gaming get taken out. Now they're going to move into this next circle, taking a lot of that tick damage, but there's a lot of teams on the other side with their line of sight in their view. Dome getting called out. Where are you going? I mean, all right, it's okay. You got a do a dance on them sometimes.
Apparently, Sunset can heal back to full. He says, I don't need the FA Kitties, boys. I can do it with this new Zeta squad. Last chance qualifier alongside Scars. They qualified over so many top teams in Europe, Tick included. Dark Zero now joins the fray. Gets themselves a nice shot long range. Flatline Peacekeeper in the hands of Sharky, but I did see a sniper in the hands of Zero. We know Zero is one of the most lethal snipers in the game.
We've seen him with so many Kraber shots, and he's got the Kraber in his hand like that, like we were saying before.
Game-winning moment, by the way.
We've seen, yeah, this is insane. We've seen this before. We've seen it during Sweden, and now we're gonna probably see it again. He's gonna delete that pylon real quick, and he's got the red Evo shield here too. He's gonna try to restabilize, but there's a team that has got him in his line of sights here. You guys gotta really be careful.
Yeah, Zero with a fully kitted Evo shield, Kraber in hand. Can he make the play? Love to check out Zero's POV with Kraber in his hands. We saw him again in Sweden. Championship winning moment with a Kraber. Hit a few key ones and
não, como que não pegou?
Oh, we gotta sit on the edge of our seats here right now. I mean, at this point, the edge of the table here.
Yeah, insane. Zero with the Kraber in hands. I'm interested to hear how Dark Zero is going to play this. They're going to have to rotate in 12 seconds. Let's jump into a listen-in with the Australian GOATs. It's Dark Zero.
Someone's got spare.
I dubbed you.
I don't have close to goal yet. 25.
So good.
Jumpy, jumpy.
Someone's
There's team
right
already
there.
there.
I'm behind on the back right one.
The back right, okay, this one?
This is zone? No, no. We have to race for this one. Race
Yeah,
for
I'm
this one.
racing.
Nice.
They
Ready?
queued it.
Bubble, probably.
Yeah, I'm trying.
There's an arc. I'm
Light
bumping
us.
about, bumping about.
60.
Batting. Chill,
Yeah,
die.
die.
We might have to... Yeah, we have to drop,
Jumping. Oh no!
Back in.
None, you're on.
Watson!
Nice, chill.
I'm not kidding.
We're in zone. Get some loot if you need. We're chilling.
Yeah.
I'm flying back up. Just a ping. Do not, just play around.
Destroy the fucking...
I can't kill the other silo team, I think.
I'm looting.
112.
Yeah.
I kind of fucked them. We're chilling.
I have the traps up, just chill.
He's under bleacher free.
I'm looking. Oh, look.
Peek. I can't
There's
tell.
the traps.
Like the underneath of it.
Gimme.
Yeah, no, it's not free. It's not free.
No, like underneath, like this stuff.
Yeah, no one. There's someone there. I have the bats.
Isn't it just top team? Give me 112! I'm trying to swing underneath. 120 underneath.
Yeah, I'm selling.
I think we need to call
I need bats. Okay.
I don't have. I'm looking up underneath.
Yeah, I've only got one.
I'm batting here.
I can't see them underneath. Like, they're not peeking.
There, give me here. 100.
One shot.
Dead.
I have close to go. Move.
I'm chilling. I'm dodging
I
out.
have close to go. I'm getting out. I got stuck.
Get away from me.
Yeah, bubble.
Yeah, I did.
We should kill them. I can't get them.
Back above us.
I can't get their Gibby.
Cracked. Selling.
Yeah, I have cells. Popping cells.
I'm chasing go.
Do monk underneath.
Knock on me, one shot.
Waiting for the thermite.
He died.
There is it underneath. Come, Sharky, come.
88.
Nice.
Nice. Go. We're chilling under.
Yeah, I'm chilling. I have no bats.
I see shotgun ammo.
I have nothing. I'm dropping all the cells, Jen.
Yeah, I need.
They fucking shotgun ammo here.
I
have nothing. So, can we control silo team? Not make too much of an head. Fuck.
Yeah.
Chilling. Chill underneath.
Popping a
They're
syringe.
fighting under as well.
Perfection personified for Dark Zero as they go dark and they dominate that rotation. So well played. The comms are great, but Optic is above them. They have their tallest order, their tallest task, and it's right above them to the hands of Skittle and Duplex.
Actually insane how they were able to restabilize after that slight little misstep with the knock grenade right there too. Just really highlights the level that this lobby is right here. Optic Gaming though have been playing up the high ground on top of those tanks for the longest, finally dropping down and now playing up the high ground right here. Currently see Zero still got the Kraber in his hand.
Expect him to yeet the absolute heck out of that Kraber. He's gonna go for some shotgun shots essentially with that thing. Blind fire's incoming.
Meu
4
Deus.
7s, team of 2. Sengun on low ground here. Dark Zero on mid.
No, Sunset's right there.
And he's gonna get pushed. Look at this. It's gonna be Optic that's just taken to the skies as Noct is gonna buy himself as much time as possible. Optic Gaming has to win this game, surely.
I mean, they have spot right here too, but they're in the open arms of Dark Zero.
Meu Deus, que bagaceira, mano. Quem ganhou, cara?
With the sole survivor here in an
Top
intense
game.
endgame.
Top
Take
game.
game number 2.
Cê é louco, o gordão agora suou, hein?
Big win, early rotate, well positioned, well played from Optic. That's their tech.
Cê é louco,
That's what
papai.
works so well from them. They manage to mid-game Valk ult to the best spot, take the ultimate god spot, and close that one out. But can we talk about Dark Zero? That ultimate, that listen, and so much to dissect from that one. Things like it's not free, or we have to force it, we have to fight, because they knew that rotate wasn't free. They win that 3v3 against Invictus. Their team firing, their ability to work in those micro moments, that micro communication was so strong.
Yeah, they had a really rough way of just trying to maintain that final circle. So the fact that they were able to force the other squads off, even win and jump on top of that, Watson, you can hear their confidence beaming in their voice there too at the very end. But Optic had that spot from the very beginning, like you were talking about. They made that rotation off of the redeploy, leaving Big Mod, and they wrapped around the rock to hang out on the high ground for the longest time there too. So they did not budge off that spot for quite some time.
Yeah, so well played by Optic. Such a perfect rotation from them. And as a result, guess what?
Ooh.
A 15-kill, 27-point game from Optic Gaming. But you see Jen Burton in second place, standing up equally as happy with a 10-kill game. So double digits for the two of them.
Coitada, se fudeu, né?
For Jen Burton. The battle of the Titans here. Nox versus Jen. Who's the best controller player in the game? Well, I guess we'll find out this weekend.
Oh man, it's actually crazy to see how heavy hitting these teams have been. Double digits for the top two teams out here in this lobby for game number 2. With Optic taking the win with 15 kills. Let's not forget, game 1, TSM did win with those 7 kills here too. So a big shakeup in this game number 2.
That's right, and the biggest thing we have to talk about, Alliance, yet again, on a semi-favorable zone. What used to be a favorable zone when they ran Wraith, not able to get it done. We didn't see it on screen, but what I would assume happened is a Valk ult came through. They rotated to exactly where 100 Thieves were, and guess what? 100 Thieves has Newcastle on their team. There's no way, no shot 100 Thieves is going to lose that one. As we take a look at the overall standings, again, it is Optic on top, tied with Dark Zero, TSM right behind them. 3 of our biggest, most notable brands and names in Apex, doing so well in this lobby.
The fact that the gap isn't even far here in game number 2. Yeah, I know we got a few more games to go, but look at this. Optic Gaming, Dark Zero tied apiece for 29 points. TSM right behind them in 23 points. Optic Gaming didn't have the best game number 1, so to actually just boost themselves up after that win, as well as those 15 kills, is really important for this team.
That's right, and then real quick on that first page as well, 100 Thieves and Invictus. They've looked good, but not great. And if you want to be a champion, if you want to take home that $500,000 first place prize, you got to be great. I want to see them step up, maybe take a little more risk in their gameplay. But if they qualify through, as long as they get 20th, there's no difference, keep in mind, between 20th place and first place in group stages. You could dominate group stages like Alliance did last time, and who cares? I mean, there's no seeding advantage, there's no points advantage, not until we get to match point finals where the top 10 teams have a slight points lead going into the match point. So keep that in mind. 20th place, you get in the winner's bracket, you're chilling.
Yeah, it's the seeding that's really detrimental for what these teams want, or how much they want to play there too, how much they want to have some of that downtime. So kind of evaluate what they got to go for the next day. But see, Optic Gaming, the one thing that's always surprised me is that this team is always so composed. As we take a look at the secondary stream here, Group B versus C. Guess what? Furia still stays on top, and they got a 10-point lead, regardless of Team Singularity going up those 4 extra spots with 28 points. But a little bit different compared to the overall leaderboard that we're seeing in A versus D. There's much more of a gap between these teams here.
That is absolutely true. Very top-heavy right now, which is what you'd expect from a Furia lobby, let's be honest. But Team Singularity, there's a reason I was sharing some storylines on Twitter. I just said 3 letters, SNG, because they are performing so well, and they're continuing where they left off. They didn't have their full squad in Sweden at the playoffs. They played with a team of 2. Now they have their full team, and they are looking so strong, Vicky. Singularity and Furia dominating that lobby.
Yeah, it's really interesting to see how that's going to play out too, because again, just these heavy hitters in both these lobbies. That's a secondary stream on a nice wig stream, so it's nice as well to see TSM Optic. They may stay on top, but now can they continue on this domination as we play our last game on World's Edge before we dive into Storm Point right after that?
That's right. We got one more game on World's Edge, the map you know and love. Then we go to Storm Point. Will teams be able to turn things around? We saw Dreamfire dominate on Storm Point yesterday, so maybe they can increase their stock in the overall standings. I'm Fallout. This is Vicky Katie. Hope you all are enjoying the action home. We're going to take a quick break. Game number 3. Will TSM bounce back, or will Optic Gaming and Dark Zero continue to perform? We'll find out after this.
Cê é louco. Cara é foda, né?
And so it begins.
Pop in the chimney.
I gotta admit, I may have tricked you.
Welcome back, everybody, to game number 3 of our final group stage match here at the ALGS Year 2 Championship. I'm Fallout, joined alongside Vicky Kitty as we get ready for game 3. Obviously, storylines here. TSM wins game 1, Optic wins game 2, the back-to-back games from the North American Titans.
The script writes itself, too, because both those teams on opposite ends of whichever team had won the previous game, TSM, unfortunately, on that second page of the overall scores for that game number 2, and then Optic on the second page and the overall scores for game number 1. So it's interesting to see how it's been going a little back and forth here. But, you know, I want to take a look at the middle of the pack. I want to see what these squads got here in groups A versus D, because, you know, just yesterday we saw Darkfire come out swinging. We saw Apex South come out swinging in general.
Yeah, and here's one team in particular I want to see perform in game 3. It's the team that won a championship on this map, World's Edge, Anmu. Scurry, of course, picking up Vaxlon. He's had such an impact, former CLG champion alongside iMadness. Well, hey, they're running a very different style of play here with Newcastle and Watson. I was chatting with Anmu, IGL of this team, the heart and soul of this team from Illinois. And he said, look, I actually would like to play Ash. It gives us a chance to play a little bit more aggressive, to make some plays, to be a little more risky. But we've been practicing Newcastle and Caustic, and you know, it's a democracy at the end of the day. I might be the IGL and captain, but my teammates want me on Watson. I feel like I can't IGL as well on Watson, similar to Hal on Caustic, but he's sticking with it. I want to see some change-ups here. I want to see them adapt like we saw 100 Thieves immediately do yesterday. Or sorry, TSM.
Yeah, honestly, it's about like what you feel comfortable with and those quick adaptations at the very start too. I mean, you want to make those composition swaps in day number 1 and then get adjusted to it in day number 2, so that way you could feel very confident in day number 3.
That's right. Look at that mustache, by the way.
Right?
Sure. You see that?
That looks really nicely fitted.
That's what I'm talking about. Should I bust out a mustache for Sunday?
You know what?
You think so?
Yo, Fallout with a mustache?
Oh my God!
All right.
Imagine.
Hey.
I actually look like a criminal. It's not a good sight. Not a good sight. Jokes aside here, something tells me the Aussie boys might bust out a mustache or two. They're known for their facial hair choices. As we're jumping into game number 3 here, we have our third and final game of World's Edge. Ladies and gentlemen, PNC Arena, give it up and make some noise as we are going to close out World's Edge for group stages here with TSM, Optic Gaming. We have 100 Thieves, Space Station, Alliance, Dark Zero, Dreamfire, AD, Crazy Raccoon, Ascend, all champions in their region previously. They've won it on the biggest stage of their careers already. Well, this is the biggest stage now. Can they do it here?
It's time to see here game number 3, last game that we currently have on World's Edge, like we've been highlighting before. It's important to note that on that border of those top 20 teams is Space Station Gaming, that's sitting in 20th place, with Team Burgers that's right behind them in 21st. That makes a difference between you starting off in the winner's bracket and you starting off in the loser's bracket. Now, as we get to see where this next circle is going to take us, we got another southern circle, except this time around, it's not pulling towards stage in here. It's going to be pulling all the way to the south. It's going to be a tree circle, and this is going to be interesting because this leaves for a lot of wide open angles that a lot of these teams in different spots, especially by Lava Siphon, that they could be poking from a lot of the other teams that are coming in from the northern side of the map.
Yeah, different style of play here from DZ, Dark Zero, and Burger, the Aussies, as they're going to be able to early rotate and get their best position. They're both Caustic teams, so they're both going to be able to barrel up and basically get themselves good real estate early. Meanwhile, IG, they split Lava Siphon. They decided to go back to Lava Siphon north side. They split it with Dark Zero here in this matchup. They'll split it with FA Kitties in the European matchup. We'll see if they early rotate as well.
You know what's really important here is that Team Burger lands in tree, and since they're on that cusp right there, right next to Space Station Gaming, this can mean a lot for them if they could get a lot of those points before diving into Storm Point.
It's a great point. Let's talk about that real quick. Ascend in 22nd with 59 points. Burger in 21st with 63 points. So the threshold is 68, Space Station with 20, but guess what? We're going to see an early fight from the Thailand team.
See what they end up doing here, because with a lot of this noise, if they don't actually take this fight quickly, you already know who's going to be rotating quick from Big Mon, and that's going to be Knock Knock Optic Gaming. So let's see right now. Burma and United going to try to move in. They're looking fantastic. Lullaban with the purple Evo shield. Where are you going? You got the Evo as well that you have to worry about on top of it all.
Okay, what did we just see on screen? That was the equivalent of like an annoying fly.
Yeah, you swat it.
You just swat it, and you know it's harmless. Didn't really do a whole lot to fight back there. Was Lick of ORF, Japanese player, but maybe got caught off guard, question mark. Nonetheless, easy kill point for Buriram here. Again, Thailand showing up.
What caught me off guard is that I believe the rest of ORF is actually by Overlook. So if you were trying to go for a beacon, there's already a beacon in Overlook. Not too sure what was the decision right here, as we get to see the rest of the squad now make their move. They're going to take that KP happy in their pocket, and they're going to already start moving.
Yep. IG with a very, very early rotate. They're going to work their way over to tree pretty quickly here. And guess what? A couple other teams nearby as well. AD, Dark Zero, Burger, and Alliance will be taking their time to loot because they have all of Thermal Station. Takes a lot of time to loot. It's one of the downsides of it.
Oh man, FL in a lot of trouble already though right here. Actually, IG with the setup with the Watson fences. You already know no Caustic squad is going to contest them with that pylon out. No knocked grenade either. So they're going to be happy here. And with the crypto drone, they also have the banner to scan to see which other squads have made their appearance in the area. They're also going to be able to negate any sort of other Watson fences and Caustic traps with that EMP.
Yeah, not the best loot from the boys in Dark Zero, coming from southern or central Lava Siphon. So they're going to try and level up their Evo shields here and maybe just poke and prod. IG find Fennel and the team of 2. That's easy kill points for them if they want to clean it up.
You can see Fennel just stuck as the lone warrior off to the side here. See if Team Burger actually ends up scooping that up again. Since Team Burger does land in tree, this is going to be a really good opportunity for them to not only hold the high ground by tree, but to also cut off any rotation points through launch site.
And Fennel is out. Team of 2 again, of course. Very sad. Very fortunate to have the third player to be able to compete with, but nonetheless, still doing what they can with the team of 2, much like we saw Singularity do in Sweden. Now Singularity's looking so good in that secondary stream. But right now we're on board with Karanpool from AD, Korean. One of the top players, top personalities. Of course, they wish they had Obley and Parka, their longtime teammates, able to step up and perform with Crypto and Valk. They need them to step up right here, right now, with only a few points. 100 Thieves, another team on the fringe, 16th place with 71 points. They've been good, not great, but they might be able to just sneak by.
I mean, they're going to be taking their time here too. They have that redeploy right here, but they're going to take their time on the replicator. I mean, you see that EVA 8 in the hands of Amu, who's managed to craft up a wingman too. Looking nicely looted up with that purple shotgun bolt too on the EVA 8. They're going to be walking their way into that next circle, so they're going to take their time here by Skyhook. Not going to be contested as a lot of the other squads between the Fragment area, looking at TSM, who are going to finish up looting up Fragment West, are going to slowly make their way into that southern part of the circle.
Scurry. What a story from him. Obviously, for those that weren't aware, great interview after winning ALGS championships, was actually homeless at the time. The prize money allowed him to change his life, change his family's life. And since then, getting signed by 100 Thieves. So humble. I love this team. I love everything about their DNA. And I love the way they perform. We've seen 100 Thieves play so well as of late. Ever since they picked up Vaxlon, they've looked good.
Man, that's such a story there too. Also just trying to be humble at the same time here. So much competition, so much pressure here. Crazy Raccoon, they're going to be rotating away. And with really nice loot here too. You got 2 purple Evo shields. You got Sunday on the blue already. Got a lot of those ultimate accelerants too for Maney. Going to be crossing around the train tracks because they don't want to go through Fragment just in case they run into Crazy Raccoon, TSM. 2 squads that share some of that Fragment loot, especially with other teams making their rotation through the train tracks.
Yeah, Crazy Raccoon does get Climatizer for free in this one. 4-7 is a team of 2 dropping Survey Camp, so they can bully some more loot in Survey Camp if they want as well. No Cloud9 in this lobby. I know Cloud9 is basically getting the entire north side of the map, 3 POIs for free in their lobby, which is why we see Cloud9 currently in the top 12 overall in our secondary stream. But guess who's nearby? TSM took their time to loot. Now, wait for the 3-2-1. They're going to fry the team firing from TSM, but it's not enough for a knock.
Oh man, talk about the loot though. He's got the turbo ready. Look at this, the R301 with a 3-time scope here. TSM looking very happy.
Yeah, they took their time crafting. Again, difference in playstyle. They're playing edge this time, not rotate.
Dreamfire though, looking like they could be in some trouble. Tao going down here. Can they get the opportunity to get the res? You see the melee punches try to scoop him over to the other side. Here comes a climb though. Alliance Yuki taking a lot of damage, having to back off.
Yeah, Yuki would have wanted to do a little bit more right there. Had a chance for a knock, but I like the aggression. I like the fact that Alliance is trying to get going here. They need some rhythm. We know what they're capable of. We know how good of a team they are. Truly a brotherhood. Wife's best support player in all of Apex Legends, in my opinion, coming from Sweden. He's the Scottie Pippen to the hockey MJ, if you will, as we're on board with Vice. He's going to back out and reset.
Playing off of the low ground right here. They have the information of the beacon of where the circle is going to be pulling, but it could easily just pull a little bit more to the right. It could be one of those tricky circles too that you don't know whether determined to be on the left side of that big rock where sometimes it could be difficult to redeploy around, or it could be on the right side by the train tracks that lead into tree.
That's right. Back to Thermal Station they go. Land of the home for them. Their comfort spot. They've been owning Thermal Station ever since dominating G2. Let's just tell it like it is. They dominated G2 in that pound-for-pound fight back in Sweden, bullied them away from Thermal Station and from this competition, to be honest. G2 not qualifying, didn't make it through LCQs, a lot of question marks for that G2 roster. Obviously, we got Lou from Sentinels in the crowd here. Any fans of Lou streams here live in PNC Arena? Big shot to Lou. I know he's going to be coming back with a vengeance alongside Sedox and Crust and the boys from Sentinels.
Oh man, now getting to see a lot of the squads and what they're doing to take their time. You mentioned TSM playing by the edge, and for all the right reasons here too, because they're going to get the information of the next circle, because No Name has that beacon. So we take a look at a lot of the other squads that are rotating away from Harvester. DNG looking like they're in some trouble. Actually taking the portal around that rock here. TSM now, you're going to see right now, they're going to be taking some of that circle damage, but it's all okay. Only a little bit of that tick damage here for that first ring.
TSM worth it, obviously, to continue to get to craft, to take their time and the rotate, and fully leveled up Havoc now in the hands of TSM is pretty darn powerful. And actually not a shotgun bolt here for reps. He has the blue shotgun bolt, opts for meds instead. Probably a wise decision to stack up on meds, on shield batteries. Good call for sure.
That's a little bit less there too. You got like 25 crafting points to get that purple shotgun bolt. Maybe you could scoop it up from one of these death boxes once they start rotating in here. They also have that information of where that next circle is going to be pulling, which is going to be on the right side of that rock that we were talking about before, which is right to the north of Tree. We do know that a lot of teams like to contest from the outskirts by Harvester, like 100 Thieves too, so TSM maybe want to wrap around and try to approach from that side towards Lava Siphon.
Right. Hey, we asked for some tweets earlier using hashtag ALGS, tweeting at us, at Fallout with 2 T's, at Vicky Kitty. Big shout to Bradley saying Furia is running through these teams right now like it's a bronze lobby. That's a fact in the secondary stream. And we heard a lot of y'all say, MEL, FJT 2511, please bring Sweet Dreams on the desk. That guy is one of the most funny dudes in the whole world. His sarcasm, his humor is just too good. If not, of course, the CEO, Hal. Hey, maybe later on tonight when they are in winner's bracket, if they make it to winner's bracket, we'll bring maybe a little Hal action, maybe a little Sweet. Let us know who you want on the desk with us later on today. And then Lee Campbell, if Hal and Sweet Dreams could give each other any piece of advice today, what would it be, Vicky?
Oh, man.
Question.
Hey, Sweet would tell Hal to be more composed.
Ooh.
Let's see. Mentality is everything in this type of competition, especially at this level.
I like that. And I think Hal would tell Sweet to stay positive, don't go on tilt, and continue to keep his team fully focused.
Gotta get that good
mentally
companionship
reset.
right there, you know?
That's a fact. That's the biggest thing. Those two teams, truly, those two players, so similar. IGLs, also top fraggers for the team. They're managed to do it all. But those teams live and die by those two players. Peter Hal, IGL, this team, such an emotional leader. And again, I talked about it a bit yesterday, but he has matured so much as a leader. I mean, you remember the days of him screaming at his teammates back a year and a half ago, but now his ability to hit reset, his ability to stay composed, stay calm, I think you're right. You know, Sweet could certainly take
You can imagine Snipe down out in the crowd. Yeah, I remember.
Yes, Snipe definitely knows about those days.
But it's great to see how far they've come now. TSM now playing off of the high ground. They have the Caustic Traps, but there's another team that manages to ping them with attack from Valk.
Yep.
There's another team around in Harvester too.
That's right. By the way, I call him Michael Jordan of Apex. And he's got 23 points right now. I'm just saying that's an omen. That's a sign. Hal, CEO, we'll see what he can do. Meanwhile, Duplex saying, hey, there's a new CEO, there's a new chairman in town. It's King Dupe on the streets. We'll see if Optic Gaming can take the title of best team in North American Apex history from TSM.
Man, that's a little too hard. I know Dupe was feeling excited about that. Say, hey, you guys hear that? I saw in the chat when they were having that friendly banter. Yeah. He's like, I'm the CEO now. I'm like, oh, whoa.
And by the way, I did a little wild video, but the in-game chat goes crazy. Let me tell you, the players in the pre-game lobby, custom lobby chat is a little wild. We're on board now with Bryn. Bryn, one of the top individual players in Europe. I talk about him often because he deserves it. Burst onto the scene way back in mid-online tournaments, proved his ability with that disgusting play, and that's why. Look at the damage coming through. Doesn't get the knock, but Bryn going to level up that Evo shield, 23 points away for him.
That was actually insane right there, too. You saw that they've been holding onto this truck for the longest time. They could afford it. Even if a Nox grenade even comes into that truck, the pylon would immediately eat it up. A lot of these players now trying to rotate away from Lava Siphon. That top platform that shows the high ground could give you a nice little overlook of where the teams are situated over by Tree, but with a lot of these teams running the Watson, running the Caustic, you're not going to be able to call out any other squads that are in the middle of those late rotations without a redeploy coming in.
That's right. Slower game here in game 3. Obviously, this is the last World Judge opportunity. Keep in mind, this is the last group stage matchup, so it's starting to feel a little bit more like the match point finals, right? You got 18 squads left already as we're going into our 3rd or 4th ring. That goes to show how serious these teams are absolutely taking this and how everything matters. Every point, every life matters here as things are slowing down in this late game. A lot of cover, obviously. This northern zone typically, southern zone typically tends to be very, very stacked. But if we can look at the overhead map for a second, it is insane what we see on the overhead map. So many teams in this next zone already.
And there's so much limited spots here as Optic Gaming. They see the other squad. They have to force the squad out here. They need to try to take this fight, but it's Dark Zero. The EMP to delete everybody's down. Who's grieving as Sharky gets Skittle Cakes knocked now too. Optic Gaming get taken out, an 18th place for game number 3 here.
Wow. Who's the one team that Optic doesn't want to fight pound for pound? It's Dark Zero. Rock beats Scissors as Dark Zero dominates there, says don't you dare try and push us. Both dome shields dropped at the same time. Obviously Optic on a slight disadvantage because they were getting shot from teams from their behind. Dark Zero capitalizes.
Was that Zeta that used the EMP, said nobody gets dome here. If we could scoop up a kill, we'll absolutely take those.
Hey, if Rock beats Scissors right there, would you call TSM paper? You know what I'm saying? And Optic Scissors are chopping up that TSM paper, you know? And to make it work out.
Not in this game now, not anymore.
You don't think so?
They're folding him in.
Not in this game, but I don't know.
I mean, right now, overall.
You think TSM is better than Optic right now?
I think Optic right now is leading for a reason right here, Fallout.
Fact.
I mean, that is look at the way they're playing. They could afford to lose right here, but they don't want to continue this on because then at that point they may have that bit of a gap. But we saw in the overall standings they weren't tied so far within this series of group standings. So they want to maintain their lead that they could maintain from day number 1 going into the bracket stage. Currently looking at alliances and make the rotation around the high ground rock. They see the beacon that's right up there, but that beacon is being guarded and could easily be seen in the line of sight of TSM if they want to poke their heads.
That's right. As this zone starts to close in here, 17 squads left. Optic, of course, not one of them. Just got taken out. And again, things will be a little slow here. Calm before the storm. I say it often, but it's Apex game is like a roller coaster. You get the first drop, maybe some contests a little crazy. Then things slow down, then things get a little crazy with the second drop, and then that final drop is insane. But here we go, second drop coming through. It's Space Station trying to survive right now. Caustic Ultimate gonna not do a whole lot. They will survive, and they will live to fight another day as they get the knock on aim.
With this Nox gas has spotted so much space. Frax is chilling here, just wiping a little bit of that sweat around. You see the portal right in front of them. Who dares try to contest them inside this truck? As 100 Thieves actually in some trouble trying to find Uchaku, who's on the other side of that rock, maybe being saved by Team Burger, who wants a piece of the action. Put that on a double patty real quick. 100 Thieves get called out in the middle of that rotation as Vaxlon gets taken down.
We put some bacon on it. We put some relish on it. Team Burger is ready to consume the lobby. We know what they're capable of. We saw it in the playoffs. Some good damage coming through on 100 Thieves. Can they capitalize, though? IG's going to get taken out. Ooh. Clean wipe from AD. Karanpu with 1. Make it 2.
Who've done this? Who has done this? Who took out all those Watson fences? Was it a crypto EMP?
Had to have been.
Maybe. Well, Space Station now moving in with the dome. They needed this loot here. They're going to be able to get everything that they need currently. See, dropped now. Going to be able to utilize these death boxes. But there is a team on the other side of that dome as they go right back to the safety of this truck.
That's right. Well, hey, Space Station Gaming, another team on the fringe, in 20th place to be precise. Needs a big game here in game number 3. Let's jump into a listen in with Drop, Denial, Frex on controller. Let's listen.
There's a Newcastle. There's a Newcastle walking. Are they?
They're fighting here.
Are they? Oh yeah, they bubbled. Yeah, let's go for it.
Is that team still on the left building?
I don't know.
Hold on. Can we go?
I just got.
No, don't die.
I'm batting. I need a med kit. You have a med kit?
Yes, I do. Yes.
Oh, here, just take this.
These guys are. Listen, I think while they're fighting, I think we take their building right here, bro.
Okay. Yeah, I'm down.
You guys
their
ready?
building's in. Their building's in. I'm med kidding.
Yeah. Bro, we're just kidding. They're just hard fighting.
Yeah, it's fine. We're gonna have to bubble. Across
just
probably.
Come on. Just play this right. Play the right side. Take the right side. Take the right side. We're good. Save bubble.
Barrel it.
I need a bat.
Start barreling.
Yes, I know. I need a bat. Is the building in?
Yes. The building is in. On me is in. On me.
Okay.
Listen, I have 0-2 now.
Here, I dropped 2. I dropped 2.
All right, we gotta be ready for that team. They might push us.
They're on the wall.
No, right here.
All right. Should we back up out of this?
They're right here.
Be careful for them to just.
They're gonna be getting pushed by zone.
Yeah,
I don't think we give them a fight there.
I shot my barrel.
I'm playing back.
They're gonna go right. They're running right.
They're vaulting. Yeah, vaulting. Listen, I think we play a little aggro if we can out here.
Okay.
I don't think we just fucking let a team bolt us inside.
They're gonna be right here, bro. They're gonna be right here. They have red armor.
Can you move this? I'm gonna shoot it.
Yeah, just shoot it. Listen, the team on the right might bully us here.
I don't even see them. They're not peeking us.
No, they're in the thing right here. Yeah. We can
take that rock. Yeah. Take that rock. Nice.
Zen, fly up.
I'm trying to look.
Yeah, they're all right here. I have Costico. Do we have Gibeon?
I don't have Gibeon.
There's still a team on the left.
70.
Okay. Yeah, they're right here, by the way. They're right here.
Okay.
No, they're playing back.
They're not in the
corner. Look at zone. Never mind. We're chilling.
I'm popping a Phoenix. They're playing back hugging the wall. They're hugging the wall.
Okay, we need to keep this height. They're on the left in the open on me. If you come to me, Zen.
I'm coming.
I'm watching our right, by the way.
They're just playing behind that.
By the way, I think they're in here, right? I'm pretty sure they are.
Yes, they're in this cubby.
Yes, I know. That's what I'm saying. Can't we like fight them? We need to fight for it, right? We could. That's free kills. I could cost.
I can go right with you, Frex. Yeah, I can go right with Frex. You need to hold the top, Zen.
Can you look
I don't
down?
have Gibio. I don't have Gibio.
How long?
84.
Okay. I have 0 cells, by the way.
I'm 3-1. I'm 3-1.
They have a caustic.
Yeah, I know, but I mean, if I caustic ult them, they have to at least get out, right?
All right, I have 2 arcs and a frag. Tell me when you want to swing.
Zen, you should swing. We should triple swing it.
All right, I'm nading.
I arced them.
Throwing arcs inside.
I have an arc on them.
I suck one. I cracked 3.
I cracked 3.
I can't. I have to bet.
99.
I have to bet.
You're by yourself, then.
They're okay. I'm back.
Play
They're all
back,
flush. They're all flush.
Yeah, I know.
You caustic ult that.
Yeah, I did already. They're in it.
Fuck. We're getting wrapped. Team behind us.
I backed up. Bro. Just push the fucking bubble. Don't pop a fucking bat, man. They're all flush.
That team's pushing you. Crypto, just stay inside.
And perhaps that listen in a microcosm for what's going wrong with Space Station Gaming this weekend. Not the top 10 performance we expect from them. Not on the same page.
They were doing really good in scrims there too earlier when I was checking them out beforehand, and it's difficult too because they didn't know that there was that squad that could potentially push right behind them. As we see a redeploy happening right in front of Space Station's face. I mean, it's Christmas Day then at this point if you want to provide that on a silver platter. A nice little crater here for Zenile to hold on into. He's got the high ground as well on top of AD, and Team Burger, who is another team next to Space Station Gaming that's on that cusp of top 20, is on the other side of that rock. They try to fully set it up to this team, but now everybody's going into their line of sight.
Yeah, if that first knock is Christmas, well, guess what? It's a stocking stuffer. Now they get the presents. Santa Claus delivers them the easiest 3 kills of the day. But guess what? Burger is the one that's going to capitalize. They find themselves some easy KP. And guess what? SSG is right above them. Zenile ratting. I don't know if they know he's alive.
Oh man, can they see him on the rock right here? You see Crazy Raccoon on the other side of that rock here too. Just seeing a lot of the action with their Watson fences set up. Nothing for them to actually push here too.
Yep.
The red Evo shield too that Team Burger really desperately needed too because they were lackluster on terms of loop. And Zenile is not moving here. We got the strats. Nobody see anything. Everybody mind their own business.
The wings are popping out though. It's like you got to
hold
the
part of
the rock. Yeah, no one's doing it now. Got a little wing. What are those wings over there? Eyesight is probably the most underrated statistic in Apex Legends. I mean, I gotta say so. And I gotta be honest, my eyesight, if it's a Madden rating, is like 10 out of 100 personally. That's why I'm so bad at this game.
That's why I gotta wear those contacts ready.
Yeah.
Crypto Drone gets shot from the sky here. 100 Thieves holding a bit of that high ground. Do you know that those Watson fences set up to their left? They've been seeing that squad for quite some time because they were also set up with those Watson fences right behind them, rocking the Newcastle and Watson that we've been highlighting before.
5 squads left in this one. Zone's going to pull very center circle. If you're new to competitive Apex, take a look at the top left of your screen. You'll see the line pulling as to where the zone's going to go. It's not always center circle. Sometimes it goes far right, far north, etc. But for now, guess what? 5 teams, 1 rat. Space Station needs the points. Burger's alive. Zeta's alive. 100 Thieves and Crazy Raccoon. This is going to be an insane finish as all 5 teams are going to slowly collapse towards the center of this final ring.
It's going to be so tough here, too, because you have to climb on top of those rocks. Zenile's going to show up the moment he starts flying around these rocks here, too. Look at that. They already see him. Are you going to be forced into the dome here, into the open arms of the squad that's right below you? Zeta Division now having a lot of these teams in their line of sight. You see the EMP coming out there, too. Team Burger gets taken out. Was that before Space Station? That's actually absolutely huge here. Zenile's still alive on top of Sped Burgers. Now, can we get another...
Oh! Você é louco! Levou os dois, mano.
100 Thieves. What a play from Zenile. Already gets the shield swap. He's going to try...
Carai, sozinho.
Shirley's going to clean this up. Goodbye, Zenile. But getting a 3rd place finish in a couple KP...
Ah, já era muita bala ali nele, coitado. Agora.
A 3v3 fight. EU versus NA. Blow it up in the chat right now. Europe, stand up. North America, stand up.
Oh, 100 Thieves now. They have the Newcastle right there on top. What are they going to do? You're going to try to break these shields. Now you're going to be able to move all the way in with the PK. We got those PK shots landing, backing up to go for a quick reset. Now it's Onmu's turn. Tag, you're in here, and 100 Thieves take game number 3.
And you see the hype from the hype man himself, Onmu, backslaw in the middle. What a performance from 100 Thieves. They needed it. 16th place on the bubble, and they get a 1st place 12-point victory, at least 6 to 10 KP as well. 100 Thieves shows up big time, Vicky.
Now they can be really comfortable too in that top 20 spot. They absolutely need that. Just like Space Station Gaming needed that third place spot, needed that extra KP. What an end game and how intense it was for these squads, especially under Thieves, keeping themselves patient and controlled to just stay underneath that bridge no matter how many fights that were going down in front of them.
That's right. The calm before the storm for them, and that is also an underrated statistic in Apex. The ability to not get frazzled, not overcommit, and put yourself in the right position to close out a late game. 100 Thieves did it to perfection right there. Obviously, they had Godspot, they had high ground, they had a really, really good rotation coming through as well. They had to do it all the way from Skyhook, by the way, and guess what? An 18-point game for 100 Thieves. Big time performance, but it's Zeta Division who gets the last laugh with 19.
I feel like Zeta Division put a wrench to a lot of our top squads there too. Holding that top part in the train tracks right between Lava Siphon and Harvester allow them to have the line of sight of the likes of TSM, put down the EMP onto Team Optic that actually managed to take down both those domes. So Optic Gaming were in a lot of trouble, and now we get to take a look at the second page here. TSM unfortunately falling in 11th place.
That's right, some big names, big brands. TSM, Optic, and IG all on this page here, plus a lot of the teams from APAC region on screen. But I want to point out, Dreamfire was on the first page. They're doing fairly well, still top 10 in overall standings. They're about to head to their dream land. It's Stormpoint. They love themselves some Stormpoint. They play that map so incredibly well. Their rotations are pristine. Expect Dreamfire to drop potential another 20-kill game first place finish.
I'm excited to see how, that's another thing. Just seeing the way that a lot of these teams adjust between World's Edge and Stormpoint is so important as we take a look at the nice posed 100 Thieves after taking that win. Look at this, Scurry putting down a lot of that damage. The fact that they were also able to get that high ground by the Vine there by Tree was also really crazy for the end game.
Alex Scurry Scala, 0 kills, doesn't matter, 1,500 damage, supporting his team. That's what Newcastle's all about. Loved playing Newcastle in ranked. Scurry, the only one playing Newcastle in live competition here. Vaxlon with 4 kills, slaying and fragging 100 Thieves with a really, really big game here. My man with the buff Valkstein is right here. He is absolutely baiting me right now. I'm gonna go rip that. I will rip that sign. Give me that sign. Give it. Throw it.
At least it doesn't say buff Caustic. Then we're gonna have a problem right here. Anyways, though, that was a fantastic time. Just seeing Game 3 and the way that these teams were able to adjust out here, Fallout, as we got more signs coming in, trying to see if we have the opportunity. Look at this. Look at this. Oh! Oh! You just ripped the man's heart and his dreams. No more. 98% pick rate, come on.
None of that madness. Get that out of here.
He wants another sign now.
I'll buy you a sign. I will handwrite it. You do not want me writing your sign. But hey,
look. Say buff Caustic, though. No, don't put that there. Yeah. We're going to have problems.
None of that. 3 games in, 100 Thieves goes big in game number 3. We're having a little bit too much fun here in PNC Arena. It's time for us to calm down a little bit. We got to throw it back to our boys at the desk. Rain Day, Genome, and James. Take it away, guys.
John, incredible start to our day 2, where we have, of course, the next 3 games to round out our final series of the day, but also our losers bracket coming up. And yeah, we're getting these lights back on in just a second. Right now, we're keeping the mood nice and relaxed for those at the stadium, which is anything but. But as we get that started, James, a lot to talk about here, and I kind of want to hit both of you up with some quick reactions before we get into highlights, but just some early thoughts on what we just saw.
There was so many things going on there. I think AD got 9 kills in that game. I think they were the team who were going for that launch and had a complete disaster. So who knows if they didn't get caught out like that, what might have happened. But what did happen is we got that Newcastle W finally, which we were waiting for. So it's nice to see some case studies there for 100 Thieves to move forward with.
We were wondering if Newcastle was going to show up. The newest legend, obviously, to be available in competitive play. Finally, we get to see a little bit of 100 Thieves resurgence, a new legend resurgence. But there's been a lot that happened at the start of Game 1, Genome, that I know you've got your eyes on, especially with TSM and kicking things off with a win there.
Yeah, we saw TSM come out of the blocks pretty well there. And what I wanted to draw attention to was Hal on the Valk, right? He was kind of hulking it up with how they were playing it, right? And what I like about this is, typically he'd been on the Wraith, all those kind of things, and now we're seeing him on the Valk, and this is great because most IGLs at the moment at this LAN are playing the Valkyrie pick. It just allows you to, when you're making those Valkyrie rotates, you don't have to worry and try and direct somewhere else. You can send it where you need to go, and you're also the character, the legend that's scouting out ahead, and it allows you to get that information directly into your eyeballs rather than having to come via the comms.
Yeah, and that kind of suits House playstyle, right? Especially the way that they started off. But it wasn't just them in game one. Obviously, we'd see Optic have a resurgence, James, but a lot of action all around.
Yeah, we're seeing IG performing as well. They are getting some kills at least, so where they might not get the placement they're wanting for, they're getting the frags, and that's going to be important moving forward. Optic having an absolute heater in the second game, 15 kills on the board. And they're not the only team who are fragging here. We've got Dark Zero with 10 kills as well. So again, going to be very important for the game to come. Plenty of action, but once more we're seeing that consistency from Optic, which is no surprise, of course. But you know, they're showing people early again that we're going to be problems at the top.
The most lethal team, I think, in in-game circles. If you're betting on winning, Optic is a very good choice for that. But obviously, APAC South, APAC North starting to get involved. We saw AD, we see Crazy Raccoon coming in, making some bigger plays.
Yeah.
You know, is this a sign for APAC North to start getting a little bit more excited?
Well, AD had a really good day yesterday, right? Crazy Raccoon, not so much. Very keenly missing, the absence of Raz, one of the most exciting players in Apex Legends. So I think AD definitely. I'm hoping that we see them in the winners bracket. They'll just heat up more and more throughout the weekend.
And then, of course, Newcastle's James, newest legend, gets the win here with 100 Thieves. Big moment for them.
Absolutely, and I'm not the only person who's wondering if this squad is, this composition rather, is too passive. Your opportunity for playmaking is not such that you might have on different teams. They're definitely going for position, going for that late game, and this time they made it work.
Does this surprise you? I think a lot have seen Dark Zero expecting to have a great result. Genome, you said you wanted to say something on this.
Yeah, I mean, we had that fantastic listen-in with Dark Zero, right? And I think what that highlighted for them was just what I like to call the restrained aggression, okay? They're not a team Empire where it's just, balls to the wall going after every single team they see, but they're so good at making space for themselves.
Right.
They're not a team, not too passive, like James was just saying, right? As soon as they find someone, they will let them know they're there. They make the space and they bully everyone else around until they have the position they want, and that's how they get to those end circles time after time.
Yeah, they seem to have a fantastic awareness about them to be able to kind of be selective, as you were mentioning, and when they need to get aggressive. Obviously, this is showed up on your stage behind you if you're here, of course, in Raleigh, North Carolina. But if you are watching at home, there's another
Continua em
stream going on
segundo lá, hein?
that hasn't
40,
been
hein, mano?
equally
Que
surprising
firmeza.
for me. I've expected Fury to perform this weekend, but first place right now, did you expect this, James?
Well, two of the three teams that we spoke about, we can see on our screen here. We'll go back to Alliance a little later, but Fury and Exo Clan first and third at present. No surprises here. Again, I think it's fantastic. I feel like in many games you'll have teams come from more remote regions to the NA and EMEA region, and they will struggle to keep up. They won't be up with the meta. Apex is a unicorn in that respect. Every region has their own meta, but all those teams from far away are delivering at the top level here. And Exo Clan is showing that consistency which we were looking for at the beginning of today.
Why is that? Yeah.
Well, I think it's because we have that global system, and you're talking about those faraway teams, right? Sometimes in not even, APAC South, but OCE, you do get a bit too cloistered and you don't get that high-level competition. But because Apex is able to be played across a wider region, you can have people in, APAC South, which is probably geographically the biggest region, right? India versus, a New Zealand player, right? They are so far away, but they can get together. And because of that, you have everyone from the region bringing the level up, and I think that's why they are able to compete against other geographically large regions like North America or Europe.
We'll talk about competing. I know a lot of you have been excited to support your teams here live, whether you're at the PNC Arena in Raleigh, North Carolina with us or at home. We've given you options for both. And in fact, there's an exciting new promotion and opportunity to be able to support your teams in an even more impactful way straight in game.
We'll separate winners and losers, because I know everyone is here for my show. I'm quick and you're dead. Let me set the record straight so y'all know. I don't need to brag, cause I know everyone is here for my show. Go check it real quick. I'm about it. Homie, you can catch it all.
A great venture that is now one of the newest and hopefully a long-standing tradition here, being able to support in-game your favorite teams in the ALGS. So make sure you've done it. If you haven't already, get caught up with it because we're excited to offer it now in your Apex store. Of course, we've had a lot happen, guys. I want to get your kind of thoughts. I know you had been keeping an eye on Alliance as well, James, before we kind of get into the next part of this. Tell me what you're thinking.
Yeah, they were the last team to watch that we spoke about at the beginning of the day. Now, we were thinking, okay, maybe they've got some info from day 1, day 2, they'll come in strong. 16th, 17th, and then that last game they came 9th. Combined, they've got 6 kills. So they're not really getting any consistency there. They've gone missing, but maybe they can turn things around in that.
Is there hope on Stormpoint? Do you think a map change helps a team that obviously has potential but has been struggling?
We've definitely seen teams who can, 100%, they will double their points average on one map versus another. If that's the case for Alliance, I'm not exactly sure.
That's right, yeah. Feels like they may not be a team we think of when we think of Stormpoint, but they've got 3 games to figure it out. And of course, we've got, the losers bracket coming up after this, which means it is win or go home if you're not in the top 10. But if you want to follow us, keep up to date with everything the amazing social team is doing at Apex Legends. And of course, all of our content, whether it's YouTube, whether it's live on Twitch right now, check us out at Play Apex Esports on Twitter, Play Apex Esports on YouTube, and of course on Twitch, Play Apex. We are going to a quick break. We will be back, though, with more Apex Legends Global Series Championships. We are here in Raleigh. The crowd is live and well. Make some noise, everybody, and let them know you're here. We've just got a couple of moments where we're getting the group set up yet again. Stormpoint on the way. Don't go anywhere.
Gotta kill the crypto.
Left!
Nice. Push forward together. Hammer kick, throw your Q. Push your head.
Ready.
Off the fan, I'm weak. Dead.
You guys are nuts. You shit now.
I'm coming back. I'm betting.
You just better.
6, 7. 6, 7. I'm betting. Nice.
Let's go, baby. Let's go.
Go, bro. Oh.
All right, we should be good.
Go,
good
baby. Let's go, baby.
Let's go.
Herman Miller, the official chair partner of the Apex Legends Global Series.
3 games in the books, 3 remain. It's been dominated by North America. T-Squared and Glitter Explosion bringing you the action, and we move on to Storm Point. No more World's Edge. 100 Thieves coming out with that win. Newcastle, Watson, what do you think of that, Lauren?
I'm loving it. Okay, when the second we saw it in the back, we were like, all right, switching things up a little bit. It seems to be working out for them though, and now there's only 3 more games left in our groups stages, and this will determine where they're all seated in the brackets.
It was a TSM win, and then it was followed up by Optic Gaming. We had 3 different zones. You would hope as a spectator, as a player, you would see 3 different zones all over the map here when it comes to staging. It's anybody still, but this is where it really starts to get intense, especially for teams like Alliance. You can see on the screen, trying to relax a little bit, but Hawkins is all smiles. And I love that from them because they know that they have what it takes to make it to that winner's bracket, but they have to prove themselves here in round number 3 in these final 3 games. The 3 players on your screen, you're taking a look at them, the winners from the previous match. What will they bust out competition-wise for this upcoming series?
You know what, I'm going to let them tell us because I don't want to throw out any spoilers for people that might be listening here behind us on the main stage, but another team that, I mean, obviously, Optic, starting off incredibly strong for the day. We need to talk about Zeta too, though. There were so many squads that stepped up here in the first 3 matches.
We had some really nice matches. We see some TSM fans out there. Crowd, how you doing? Are you guys enjoying the matches? Let's go. I want you guys to get louder when you see your favorite plays, when you see your favorite players popping off. We've been waiting for this moment. It is so nice to be here at PNC Arena on LAN. I cannot wait to get these matches underway. I'm taking a look at the lobby. Only a couple more players need to fill this one up before we get this one underway. Shirts are coming off, guns are coming out.
You gotta be comfortable while you're playing, okay? You don't want any restrictions. You know what I love though is I feel like we're starting to see, we can hear the fans cheering. The players are starting to have some fun with it here. I think they're realizing that we're reaching the end of the first stretch and heading into brackets and trying to just enjoy it while we're here.
It only is going to continue to get more and more intense, but fun is what gaming is all about. That's what Apex Legends is all about, but this is going to be an absolute bloodbath when it comes to these final circles. You saw that tree ending over towards the tail end. We had a couple unpredictable zones, especially in game number 1 when we had the staging crane ending. A lot of teams were thinking, hey, is this going to end over towards Thermal Station? No, a team like TSM hopping up on over towards the triple stack that was over towards the yellow crane. That was an exciting game number 1. Game number 2, that was overlooked. That was all Optic Gaming. They played those yellow tankers so well. They got there early and held off a lot of the teams that were coming through. Zeta Division, so aggressive, so talented, and you love to see the hand warmers coming up, Glitter. I know that you always run cold.
Don't make fun of me. It is chilly in here, okay? The hand warmers are important. You got to keep yourself warmed up and ready to go. I mean, I could use some, not gonna lie, but you know who doesn't need them? TSM. They don't need him. They've got the whole crowd.
He's a cold-blooded killer. Hal's a cold-blooded killer. He doesn't need hand warmers. He's always at the same temperature at the entire time. Take a look at Verholz busting out the caustic. You know the man can play a handful of different legends, and you love that about him. One of our best Valkyrie players that we have in all of North America, but it's nice when you could pass that on. Let the TSM chants rise, guys. Let's go.
It's going to be happening all weekend, all right? I hope they have enough of their voices left for the remaining 2 days.
You can hear a little battle going on between Let's Go Optic and TSM in the crowd. I know there's also some Team Liquid fans. We have a lot of people up here representing their jerseys, their fans, their banners. You love to see it. It's been electric. I just signed a Nessie.
You did?
I did. I pet it too.
I want to sign a Nessie.
You know, gotta.
Now I'm jealous.
Gotta, take some time to, Get to
I'm just not as famous as you.
Gotta get to, oh, that's not true.
One day, Tommy T.
That's not true at all.
One day.
The players are loading into the dropship. 56 out of the 60 players into this lobby. You can see what's in the crafting rotation. We still have the wingman. We still have the car, but today it's going to be the Digi-Threat, the purple shoddy bolt, and you're seeing actually the EVA 8 come out into play from 100 Thieves, which was pretty interesting. PK typically the flavor of the, I guess, current meta that we have, and here we go. Game number 4. Crowd, one more time. Let's hear you for the final 3 games of group stage before we move into the losers and winners bracket matches. It is time, ladies and gentlemen. I can't wait to see if there's going to be any 50-50s. We actually saw a lot of 50-50s yesterday that we weren't anticipating, and Furia ended up sweeping their 50-50s overall.
Yeah, Furia was really, really crushing, and I think we checked in with that B stream, and they're continuing to do well for themselves today. So outside of what we've got going on the screen, we've got so many other teams that we'll be keeping our eyes on heading into brackets, having to see where they stack up against each other. But you picked 100 Thieves for today, didn't you?
I did. 100 Thieves has placed inside like the top 5, I think, every single game for the first 3 games. Ended up winning the previous game there. And taking a look, we do have, obviously, you got to give credit to 4-7. I mean, they got, as a duo, in game number 2, 3rd place with 3 kills.
Yes.
Hats off to them, honestly. It's been such an amazing run for these players, just as playing as 2. They're going to go with Caustic and Valkyrie here, mainly so they can get the rotations if they need to. And then obviously setting up and having a little bit of a big presence when you're rocking that Caustic. Here we go. It is time for Storm Point, ladies and gentlemen. Let's find out where this hotspot's going to be.
Godfire tem 3 chances agora para se levantar. Se não se levantar agora, deitou, viu?
Don't see any teams landing on each other quite yet, but
Deitou
we're
e
still
deitou
early
bonito.
as we take a look at that map overhead.
Not only is it favoring Mill, but it's going to be favoring Optic. So this could be a scary way for Optic to start off the game. No one really wanting to be over in their area as we continue to see folks landing here on the map. Might have seen a couple shots coming out of Bonmu over there.
They're landing on Noct. It looks like potentially you're going to have a team that's going to be contesting Optic Gaming, and the fight for Mill is going to be going down. So if we get an opportunity to see exactly what's happening on over towards the Mill, you also have Invictus Gaming, who's potentially interested in third-partying this. So there's going to be a lot of squads that make their way over here. This is a wild start. I can't believe we're getting contested right off the rip.
You know, there's only 3 games left, and you have to do something here to get yourself a little bit of a better spot on those leaderboards. So it looks like Optic Gaming is going to be in the sights of BU.
I love that we're getting action off of the rip, especially over at the hotspot. The Mill doesn't really have loot for 2 teams either. So when you go and get contested over here, a lot of the resources are going to be taken away. The way that you control that is definitely getting over towards the crates in the middle. Optic Gaming favoring the way that they were able to get out of the ship fairly early, and now they're going to be rewarded with all of the loot that they need. Rocking the same composition that they always do. It's the meta. They've really set this meta when they were playing as Team Esports Arena, and now Optic Gaming is looking like they have bullied this team off. So a nice job by them securing their loot. They're going to be able to get the extended energy mag as well. That's probably going to go on over to Noct. I would give that one to the controller player if he's able to pick up that Havoc. He's going to say, you know what, I'm interested in something else. That's that purple armor directly in front of me. And it looks like, unfortunately for Invictus Gaming, no early third parties and free kill points for them.
This hot zone's working out real well for Optic, though, setting them up nicely very early on, going to allow them a little bit of freedom with the way that they play, considering how comfortable they'll be with their shields, with their ammo. They can really decide to go on an aggressive rotation and try to hunt down the squad that did a little bit of damage to them right off the rip. But we'll have to see how that ends up unfolding. This is the squad that tried to contest Optic a little bit, did the damage onto Noct, and then backed off, decided to go get their own loot, played a little bit safer here, now going to be pushing even farther away from that area, trying to keep themselves safe.
Okay, Brew has the dopest hoodies, by the way. I don't know if you guys had an opportunity to check out the sleeves on these hoodies. These things go hard in the paint. I'm gonna have to, get in contact with someone from that org. Or, I'll just buy one. I won't be so cheap. They are coming from the APAC South region, and it's also, in terms of where they have placed, they have not had a good go at it so far. They've had a 20th place and a 16th place. Overall, they have 27 points, trying to land on a team that's placed 1st and 4th. When they placed 1st, they had 69 points on the Optic Gaming side. Taking a look at your top 20 players by damage. Surprisingly, you're not going to see his Watson at the top when you're seeing Furia completely pop off. If you want to watch Furia play, that's actually happening in the B-Stream. Go and pull up multiple tabs. Shout out to had Noko on there earlier. We have Nicewig over there, but we have a fight happening here. And it's going to be AIM Esports with the shots. That's going to be Kashera going down. Nice flat line shots across the map.
Yeah, Ascend looking like they're in a little bit of a rough spot here as AIM continues to push up. They're going to try and get that res, hopefully before AIM does end up right on top of them, able to pull it off. But the Arcstars will come in, going to have to back off a little bit. These Watson fences are going to come really clutch for them.
Antenna, this is where TSM ends up landing. TSM's already rotated out of here. They're looking like they are going for the end spot for the zone because they've got the scan, but AIM is trying to finish off Ascend here very shortly. They have the knocks that they need. That's going to be post-kill going back down. Again, it's the flat line for Uaku. He's looking so smooth. The EVA 8 coming through, and that's it. Ascend, the first team eliminated out in 20th place. Another fight taking place with Optic Gaming. Let's see if they're hunting down Team Brew, and they may have them in their sights. You can see Skittlecake's taking some damage. Knocked has to go and hit the battery as well. A lot of damage being put on them. That's actually AD.
Whoa.
It's 2 for 2 trade out. Knock coming through and barely weak as well. Duplex is going to drop. The battery is going to be hit. And this is not good for Optic Gaming over towards the down beast area. It looks like they were trying to pick this fight by going over there instead of going towards the zone.
That's what I was saying. They might have felt a little bit comfortable to take these engagements because of how looted they were so early on. Unfortunately, AD, another squad that's been very, very strong so far in this event, was prepared for this push. Everyone able to get a little bit of a reset here, backing off, trying to heal back up, and then deciding how they want to continue this engagement.
Interesting thing about AD, they placed first in round number 1, 61 points. They are typically a barometer team, so seeing them land over towards the down beast is fairly interesting, definitely switching that up. And I don't know if they were expecting Optic Gaming to go and push this one, but all 3 players have been rezzed. You can see Parka inside of his drone, and 100 Thieves is playing on the outside of where TSM is playing. You can also see Dark Zero. They placed 5th and 6th overall, so they're looking pretty solid. The top 20 teams moving on over towards that winner's bracket. It's going to be so important to go and secure that so you can try to get top 10 and then make your way on over towards the grand finals. Gives you a huge advantage so you don't have to fight from that lower bracket.
Not gonna lie, Dark Zero was my pick for the day. Seeing if we can get a little bit of a bounce back after yesterday. And that's what we've been getting so far out of them. The 2nd place finish in the 2nd game of the day with those 10 kills. It was a very, very strong matchup in the final there up against Optic. So DZ has been looking strong. You notice all the teams that we're on right now, they are also safe in the next zone. So they're just going to be comfortable here, trying to hang out, poking a little bit. But the teams that are not comfortable, we're back on board with AD, still trying to get in this engagement with Optic. Both those bubbles have been put down, and now we're going to have to see how this plays out.
Typically, whoever the team that throws the bubble first is at a huge disadvantage. You're going to have more time to communicate, plan your attack, and you're going to have a little bit more cover to work with. Optic Gaming taking this fight to AD, but the height advantage for AD is a little bit. You have a head glitch that Optic Gaming can potentially use. Surprisingly, nobody's in the vicinity for a third party, so this fight is going to continue.
Once again, Optic backing off though. 2 shields, a little bit too low for their liking. Going for yet another reset, and this is going on for a little bit longer than I think either one of these teams would have really liked.
Yeah, 1000%. I mean, the thing is again, this is a secluded fight, and I think at this point they realized that if there was a team coming, they would have already came and third-partied this. So the fact that they have so much resources on the other side, you could see in that bottom right in their UI exactly what Reps is rocking. He's got 3.6. Typically, when you hear people talking about, you know, what their batteries and cells situation is, they start with batteries, then they move on over towards cells. You don't really have to go into the medkit conversation and the syringe conversation, but now you can see Brew is still taking their fight as well. And it's going to be a little bit staggered in terms of the players needing to heal. So you're going to see a potential third party coming in from Alliance on the high ground as they make their way through.
And this is against the team you were talking about before, Tom. This is 4-7 above them. 2v3 situation going on here. And you know that ideally, they probably would have liked to avoid this early on for 4-7. But Brew is intent on trying to make this push, and they do just that, making their way up onto the roof. Now it's a 2v3 situation. Brew not taking a whole lot of damage. 4-7 is going to be in a lot of trouble here.
Great Caustical inside of the bubble, and you can see 4-7 getting the initial knock. It goes from a 2v3 to a 2v2 really quick. Unfortunately, not having any batteries means you're going to have to slow heal throughout all this. Can you pick up the KP? Maybe an armor swap to boot along the way, on his way down, actually skips the armor swap. You're gonna see a flush coming through. Alliance comes in with the third party, and there's the Skyward Dive. 4-7 is just a duo. Look at that little smile, getting away with it. They're out of there.
O moleque ligeiro, tá desfalcado, mano. Tá certo, quebrou na madeira, sai fora.
Perfect spot to get that third party opportunity, and that additional damage coming in from them was all 4-7 needed to really close that fight out and get themselves out of dodge. But now IG in their own engagement here, up against AIM, and they are trading back and forth. The PK coming out, IG down to 1. Bryn, can he hold out?
Nice move inside of the door. The knockdown shield is being played. Is the nade gonna hit? That should do some big damage, but instead that player is going to drop. Massive heals needed to be played from Brim. You can see Waku is interested in going and hitting a medkit of his own. He's going to go and use that seer to get scans inside. Now he's going to take the angle inside. Coming in from Waku, and that's going to be IG going out in 19th place. AIM is looking sexy to start.
A little sexy?
Hey, what's wrong with that? Those were sexy shots.
Nossa, arrebentou de ponta, hein, mano. 3 kills.
You guys are sexy. That's what you love to see coming out from AIM. They are picking up assists and kills all over the place. Now they're going to be able to be rewarded with all of this loot. No batteries, though. No big heals. That's going to be tough for their next fight, so we'll see what they're doing on this antenna side of the map. But in terms of where everyone's set up right now, you still have TSM locking things down. Next to them, that's going to be 100 Thieves. You have Dark Zero as well. Teams that are playing the outskirts right now, Optic Gaming has made their way all the way down to Cenote Cave. And you also have AD still making their way from down Beast on over towards the mill. Coming out of Shipfall, that's going to be DNG. SSG's coming over from the launch pad area right now, so they're going to be meeting up with AIM here very shortly. There's about 4 or 5 teams in that vicinity, so AIM's going to have to hurry it up, and now you can see exactly what Optic Gaming's thought process is. They're just going to continue to get their crafting materials up. They need as many batteries as possible because of the fact that they are super low on cells, so they're going to end up having to share resources a little bit. But this is what Optic Gaming does, Lauren. They kind of just big chill. They wait for their opportunity, and next thing you know, they skyward dive to a spot. And a lot of times they're going to end up taking that fight to a team. And if they can take that fight, get those kill points, avoid the third party, they're setting themselves up for a win. But it's time to roll out.
Yeah, those aggressive rotations, something Optic Gaming is known very well for. And I do like the fact that they did finally decide to back off the little bit of trading.
De Mustang.
It really was going on for too long. They needed to make a decision on what they were prioritizing, getting the rotations, getting more loot in their backpacks, and now setting themselves up better positionally on the map. And now we're checking in with Burger and Dreamfire, both trying to hold this building. Dreamfire already taking a little bit of damage here. Going to try and hold Burger off for as long as possible.
Yeah, Burger, they've had some pretty decent placings overall. 9th place and 11th place. They've had 30 to 33 points. That's going to be knocks onto Tau, and they're looking like they are going to finish these players off. Not really taking much damage on the opposite side. It's going to have to be empty with the battery. You can see the angles being taken by Waltzy. They didn't get the res quite yet, obviously, because he's been flushed out. That's the bag right there. They're looking for the armor swap, but it's going to be a 2 versus 3. The bubble does go down. Nice PK shots for 99. Looking for some more. Cracks one player on the enemy team. Meanwhile, Hal picking one up. That's going to be Brew getting eliminated, and Dreamfire ends up holding with this duo. They get Tao's banner. That's going to be big for them if they can get out of here, but they're going to have to maybe skyward dive and eventually find somewhere to get the respawn through.
Ooh.
Space Station Gaming on the outskirts. Meanwhile, TSM popping off in the kill feed. That's going to be Orthos Fang going out. Jen Burton from Dark Zero is going to be able to help with that one. And now we're down to 16 squads remaining, starting to get into those placement points area once you get into the top 15.
Really solid job on behalf of Dreamfire for the ability to hold off that push from Burger, recover the banner, and know when to leave, get themselves potentially that res, hopefully that res, and then get themselves a lot safer from here. TSM looking to see if they can clean up anything. Kind of just hanging out here. They've been in a solid spot in the zone from the beginning, so they haven't really had to force anything yet.
Team Burger now coming back to take control of the building that they were originally in, taking that fight. And now they're just going to continue to share resources overall. Now taking a look at the zone, it pulls away from TSM where they were anticipating. So TSM's going to have to make a rotation. And it's pulling hard south over here, kind of towards where Burger actually is. So this is big for them. Another team that's looking like they're in a solid spot, that's going to be Space Station Gaming coming outside of the launch pad area. There's also a potential fight taking place between AD and Zeta Division, and that's right on cue. We're hopping on board with them. Dark Zero gets eliminated in your kill feed. That's going to be Jen Burton as the last player alive for them. Now we have 9 Impulse. He's going to be rocking the Bangalore, the smokes, and I believe he had a Digi-Threat to boot, so that's going to be a pretty big advantage for them. But there's multiple teams, plus those pesky little Prowlers are coming in to get involved.
Look at the split that Zeta Division has going on right now. They're going to be pushing in on AD, already dealing so much damage with the card. They do lose Impulse, though. Try to back off just a little bit, wait for that bubble to go away, give them a little bit more line of sight into this area. Now Zeta Division, someone we were talking about earlier, not finishing outside of the top 6 today, and this is why.
Deitou. Foi deitado.
One does go down, getting the res on Zeta, not getting pushed for it either or punished in any way, shape, or form, so this could give them the opportunity to reset.
There's so much fighting that's going to happen over towards this north-hand side. You have 4-7 there. You have a nice thermite that's being put on top of that rock right there. Now Zeta's going to send this one. They have the smokes. They're going to continue to try to push with that type of advantage. Medkit is being popped. Sunset's going to make his way on over towards the roof. 8 seconds to the next scan. He's going to try to hold off as long as possible. Also has a frag grenade if he wants to use that one. That player sneaks away with 1 HP, but Impulse is on top of it. Now it's going to end up being all up to Sunset. He's going to go for the res, but it's just a fake res, and then they get sent on. You can see how bad he wanted to get that one up, but he was not able to get his player involved, and now it's up to AD to heal inside of the building. EMP is coming through, and they're gonna back off anyone in the vicinity. That's one IQ trying to make their way over there for that third party, but look at the job of fending off the third party. Nice job recovering, and you know, that's why you gotta loot as fast as possible in those situations, right? Everyone knows, like, when you're playing with your ranked teammates and they're just sitting there looting and looting, well, hey, there's people that are coming in to take you down, okay? You gotta get ready as fast as possible. One IQ is involved in this one, and they're desperately trying to get in through the creases of the roof to find the foot shot. But just as a duo, it's a little bit difficult. They understand the situation, and they're gonna skyward dive on out of here as well.
Yeah, if they were gonna make that push in for the third party, they needed to be in there a little bit faster. Due to the 2v3 situation, AD was pretty low, but like you said, quick shield swaps and getting themselves in a much safer spot. They too are going to go for that skyward dive. Go for some new positioning, considering they are pretty far outside of the zone. And speaking of skyward dives, this is what everyone's doing it, Tom. We've got Alliance trying to find some new positioning. Everyone really pushing in towards the zone as it's continuing to shrink down, looking for some real estate to hold until the next shrink comes in.
And this is where you have to have practice making perfect, right? Alliance finds a little bit of a crevice here. They're inside of the zone as well. I want to do a quick listen in with Alliance and find out what their comms are like.
I'm healing.
Steer ult if you need to. Steer ult if you need to.
Yeah.
Take a shot. Let's loot here. Bats and stuff for me.
I'm
Yeah.
You loot first.
Yeah.
I can take the ult on.
This is not in anymore. This is good.
Yeah.
We're right here. That's it.
Yeah.
Win.
Peek on me. Oh, we're in. We're good. We can take the building.
Yeah.
We take the building and play both. Play both. I'll play here. You
Oh,
guys
they
play
got
there.
bombardment. West.
On height.
West.
Okay. Can you look on it?
There's a team right here. They're moving in. They're gonna fight. We might get kills.
Okay.
Go for angles. I cover you guys.
Whereabouts?
It's right here. Right, my marker.
Behind team above though. Team above.
Yeah, we should just play for the small building. Play for the small building here.
Yeah.
I think you play the small building time-wise.
Yeah.
Yeah, I go for it.
The rest are behind us in stone.
Yeah,
Get this fucking KP.
Yeah.
Get this fucking KP.
Okay. It hurts. Zone hurts.
40 flash.
14 flash. He died. Got him.
Nice hit though. Tem more ammo.
Caralho, a mira desses caras, mano. É louco.
Don't need that.
A lot of heavy. I might have to swap them.
They are on the
A mira do Zé Punheta da porra.
For now. Yeah, we just hold both here. If they fight on top, we can queue up, so we're just gonna hold bottom for now.
Keep scanning around, vibes. Give us info.
Yeah.
Over here, so they have to move. These guys have to move.
Yeah, you pivot the
No,
shield on
they could just move here though. They could just move here. Wait, hold on.
No, they're not in. They're not in, are they?
They're in here though. Yeah, they're in here.
Okay. This should try and shoot them.
But there is still in a sway position.
66 Newcastle.
There's the team playing the cave.
That's
Watson
fine,
team.
That's fine.
Nobody can come from this side, right? Yeah, we're good here.
Lots of decisions needing to be made here by Alliance. They've got 100 Thieves on their side, TSM on Overwatch right above them, and they are trying to find what position they'd like to focus on from here. They're right on the edge of this zone, so they'll be able to hold it for a little while, but as more teams are trying to push their way and finding positioning, Alliance is going to see if they can take one out of the sky, and as soon as they step within the sights of TSM, they are punished for it.
Without a Gibraltar, they need to play a little bit safe. I love the change to go and have Hockeys go on to Horizon, and then also we know how powerful Yuki can be on Valkyrie. He was currently playing in the previous series, in the previous day on Caustic. Meanwhile, AD, they're on the road, so it's going to be Crazy Raccoon with double knocks. Nice job by them, looking to finish off the last player. Meanwhile, you can see in the bottom of your screen, Space Station Gaming's getting involved.
And
that's going to be Venom getting eliminated. Also, throughout all of that, when we were doing our listen in, AIM dropped by AD. Optic Gaming, they're dropped by 100 Thieves. Now Burger picking up some kills along the way too. Burger, one of our crowd favorites over here. They're gonna get into Crazy Raccoons and looking with the Kraber, trying to find some dome pieces. Is he gonna be able to land the shots? And 119 to the Gibby in the body. That reinforce is definitely coming to play right there, saving him a little bit more of HP, but Burger is interested in waltzing forward. You can see the barrels are coming through. R301 PK in the back pocket, looking for some more. Not going to be able to find the headshot right there. And now things are just going to slow down temporarily as the teams are trying to posture, force them into one another, and play these final circles. In terms of where that circle is going to pull, 100 Thieves sitting pretty. Meanwhile, TSM, they are above Alliance. That was the team directly above them. And nobody knows that they have them in their sights. Jaro's looking for a potential knock and trying to spoil someone's game.
Like you said, a little bit of a reset there from the squads that we were just keeping our eyes on, but Alliance and TSM still on the high and low ground right near each other. You can see some shots being traded, those charge rifle shots coming out of reps from on high. Everyone, though, knowing that on that side of the map, they can play it safe. They can wait for everyone to have to push in. You can see on the minimap, SSG, Burger, Crazy Raccoon's not where they want to be right now. So as they push their way in, everyone that has managed to stay towards that northern side of this will be a little bit safer.
I like the play to get rid of the Kraber there. It's only 2 shots left in there anyway, so if you can just continue to advance when the zone's coming, if you end up missing your shot, you're basically putting your team in a 2v3 situation. So now Team Burger is going to force the bubble out by the enemy team. They're going to continue to have to advance. Meanwhile, Space Station Gaming is flying in the air, looking for a spot to land. TSM is going to have to deal with Alliance on over towards the side. And meanwhile, 100 Thieves just sitting there, waiting for their opportunity, pushing everybody away from them. Let's do a quick listen in with Team Burger.
They're on us. 20 on Watson. 90 on Watson. We're going to walk it in left. We're going to walk it in left. Back up. Crack Watson. Crack Watson. Means down. They're on me. They're on me. They're on me. Rat, crack Watson. Watson dead. 74 to rat. Rat dead. I got killed. Shield. Fuck. Yes.
Team Burger goes down, Detonation goes down, Alliance takes out TSM, AD is out, Crazy Raccoon, 100 Thieves, Alliance, Space Station Gaming, those are your 4 teams left. One team's playing as a duo. Once that bubble goes down, Alliance is going to be all over these players.
Alliance looks very comfortable, Shield's very healthy, Crack's coming out with the Spitfire. This is going to be a very, very close game. Alliance has a great positioning, but 100 Thieves also on the outside. SSG could potentially be in the crosshairs of both of these squads.
Yeah, they really are, and you can see not a lot of kills, but in a great spot is 100 Thieves, trying to force these 2 teams directly on top of each other. Vibes is taking a very aggressive off angle. Meanwhile, Frex and Drop, they're directly next to Yuki and Hawkes. What's going to happen here? As you can see, Drop gets dropped, and now it is up to Frex as he's next to Yuki and Hawkes again. And again, 100 Thieves is on the outskirts, just waiting over towards the grav cannon, waiting for their opportunity to strike and potentially win back-to-back games. They took
Ixi, os caras vão ganhar de novo.
Trying to do it here in Storm Point. See the patient play coming out from 8th place
Rapaz.
Space Station Gaming, desperately needing these points.
Frex making the right call here, but you can see Alliance a little bit with a 2-1 split here. Vibes trying to play an off angle, seeing if they can maybe get some damage down onto the 100 Thieves squad. We're going to be trading shots for a while here until they are forced to collapse on each other. Vibes finally making the rotation over to join the rest of the team, and now it's essentially just a straight 3v3, but this is the opportunity for Frex to potentially play spoiler.
Yeah, he's going to play spoiler onto Alliance. That's perfectly placed because you can see exactly where Alliance is going to have to drop. Meanwhile, you know that they have
Valeu, Vitor. Valeu, mano. Obrigado aí pela raid aí. Tamo junto. Nossa. Eita, vai. Vai. Nossa.
He's taken down, and that's 100 Thieves going out. Frex is coming through for the 2nd place, and Alliance taking game.
Aliança ganhou uma.
And they're hyped.
Fantastic showing by Alliance. They did exactly what they needed to do. They pushed at the right times, and that is why the Horizon was so clutch for that end game moment for them. We were talking about how they switched up a little bit when we were back in the green room, and that just proved why they did it.
Nobody was expecting Hawkes to come in and flying in like that with the shots. I believe it was the flat line in the
Caralho, pensei que os caras iam ganhar, mano. Ia ser a segunda.
And you could see they're just lost. They have no idea what happened right there, and rightfully so. It looked like they were going to take
first place. O jogo é jogado, né, mano?
Take 2nd place for Space Station Gaming.
Jogo é jogo, não tem boca.
They had the interception pylon down, but nobody was looking above.
And honestly, we said that Frex could play spoiler. Instead, you were talking about how they needed the points. He did the perfect rat strat. Did get them that 2nd place finish. It's going to be huge for SSG moving forward.
Ele tava solo.
The devious rat strats, they come out in Space Station Gaming, getting awarded 14 big points, but nobody with a bigger game than Alliance. 21 points, 9 kills on the board. They really, really needed that overall. They were 8th place with 34 points in round number 1, 13th place with 20 points in round number 2. We'll find out exactly what they are in the overall leaderboard, but 100 Thieves has to be kicking themselves. They were in great position to win that game.
And look how spread out these kills are too. I mean, you've got 8 on AD, 5 on Burger, 8 on AIM, who only ended up with 2 placement points. And this was an aggressive game from top to bottom. And then, of course, since the first page of teams really kind of point sponged those kills, not as many points to go around for the squads here on the second page. And that's gotta be a little bit disappointing for the likes of Optic, Dark Zero. Some of these squads that we've seen have really strong performances already today.
We're wondering what that would do for Alliance on the overall leaderboard. They bump up from 14th place to 7th place. But 100 Thieves, 10 points ahead of Zeta Division.
Os caras ficaram em segundo, mas subiu de novo. Era em primeiro agora.
Impressive so far today from all of our teams Alliance. So like you said, huge jump up for them. You know they're going to be happy with that. Only 2 more matches now left in group stages for anyone to really make a difference when it comes to their placement into those brackets. So this has to feel good. AIM also making a jump up. Detonation Gaming even just getting a little bit more done here work-wise, but we'll have to see how things continue to unfold. That was a great first game on Stormpoint.
You can see at the top of your screen, it was a great game. A versus D. We have on the B stream, Group B versus C. After these final 2 games on Stormpoint, we're moving on over to our bracket play, which is when things are really going to pick up. And that's so big for Alliance because they're sitting right in that middle area. You're averaging around like 10th place for both of your rounds. There's multiple groups that are going on. You need to kind of get in that 5th place area for your group when you assume everyone's kind of being around the same points. That's going to put you in that top 20.
Listen, I saw a tweet from Yuki after yesterday, okay, saying that this is a position they're used to being in. They just have to kind of do Alliance things and get themselves into that winner's bracket where they want to be. And so far, after that performance, they look like they could potentially be doing that.
It's going to be really interesting to see how that panned out. And I'm really interested to see how much damage all of these guys had on the Alliance squad because they were really popping off. Remember when they were down below TSM? They flew in, we saw 3 different skyward dives that were taking place. We didn't know who was gonna pick the right place. Alliance takes that, they fight off and fend off TSM, and now we get an opportunity to see how much these players were actually popping off. The big 2K for the leader of this team. Hockey's coming through with the 6 kills. That play, to use the grab lift, to take over towards the height, that was a ballsy play.
And it was what they needed in order to get the dub here. Yuki also had almost 2K damage, 1,200 revives. I mean, this is just impressive. This is what we were hoping for out of Alliance too. Even though they started off a little bit slowly here today, this is the bounce back they really needed.
There's the man on your screen, the IGL for Team Alliance. One of the most successful teams in the EMEA region. 2 more games remain to see if they're gonna be moving on over towards the winner's bracket. They're gonna need more performances just like that. And I feel like after getting that win under their belt, they're going to be feeling really good. But what great in-game leaders do is they make adjustments. That's exactly what Alliance has done with their composition. It's nice to see him busting out the horizon. But we're going to take a quick break. When we get back, we're going to have game number 5.
I got no more nades. You got one nade for me?
No, not nade. Drop me one. Play the arms off.
Bog, minus 60 red.
Nading. Go.
I did 40. Go. Kill that.
Stand it.
I did 101. Bog low. I'm sending.
Lock out. Pay for lock out.
I did 100 them. Let's go. Now. Let's go. Now, yeah. We're okay.
Monster Energy, the official energy drink of the Apex Legends Global Series.
Carai.
I've got everyone's back. Think you can break through my defenses?
Aí essa. Por depois. Já. Esse é o terceiro do ganhado. Pô, 19.262. Desk tá em quinta ainda. 15.665.
We are back live from the PNC Arena. The first 3 games on World's Edge dominated by North America. EMEA gets on the board as Alliance takes game number 4, T-Squared and Glitter Explosion, bringing you the action. And 2 more games remaining in group play. Group play, excuse me. Anything can happen here.
It really, really can. However, I have to give you a little bit of props, okay, because one, your pick in 100 Thieves is being wildly consistent. They haven't placed outside of the top 6 or 5 so far. 5 so far today. I mean, that is the type of bounce back we were looking for out of them after yesterday. And also, I got to sign a Nessie.
You did sign a Nessie. You did. I saw you over there, you know, signing sweaters. Use Glitter Explosion over here, ladies and gentlemen. Let's give this girl a round of applause. That's Alliance on your screen. They're feeling good. You can see the heat map. This is actually where all of the kills were taking place, if you're wondering what the heat stands for. And you can see the 3 players on your screen dropping a massive, massive game number 4 with just insane plays from the skyward dive to get to play next to TSM to eliminating them when they had the high ground and the advantage, to the amazing final play from Hawkins to come through and land those shots, flying in on all 3 members. Glitter flew in on all 3 members of 100 Thieves like a psycho.
It was the right timing. It was the unexpected play, and the time that he had in the air to deliver so much damage by the time he landed was pure, beautiful Apex play. I want to see more of that. Okay, we've got 2 more games determining the seeding, so I want to see that level of aggression.
These are 2 teams that have won already. You can see that was the winners from game number 1, 2, and 3. It was, again, TSM taking game number 1. We had Optic Gaming taking game number 2, 100 Thieves in game number 3, and then it was Alliance in game number 4. The players are loading into the lobby. We're getting ready to fly out of the ship here very shortly. We did have a potential 50-50 happening on over towards the mill with, I think, Brew and Optic Gaming, but they ended up backing off from that one. And then AD and Optic danced for a very long time.
Yeah, and we'll have to see if that's what they want to do again. I'm thinking maybe not, at least on the Brew half of things. They might want to just leave Optic to do their slower loop path like they did in that first game and kind of get themselves set up after all of that. But who knows? Like I said, last 2 games, if you're one of those teams that's in the lower half of this lobby, you might have to be taking out one of the heavy hitters to get yourself some points.
2 games remaining again in the group stage. Detonation Gaming, we're taking a look at them. They're playing as a duo. You have 4-7 playing as a duo. They were picking up some kills and skyward diving out of there. We saw so many great Valk ults as we get ready for match number 5. Crowd, let me hear you guys one more time. I like the hype, I like the energy. We're gonna bring it here. You can see Detonation Gaming, they're rocking just a duo again. That's a team that we're gonna take a look at. We also need to keep a look on the mill and also on the map to find out exactly where the map is gonna show, where zone number 1 and 2 are gonna be. We saw a very interesting start to game number 4. Very slow, but also explosive when we got into round number 4 and 5. That's what you can anticipate with Apex Legends. Launchpad, that's gonna be the hot spot coming through. It looks like Optic Gaming is gonna be free over towards that mill side. Space Station Gaming going on over towards Launchpad and potentially getting contested. Is that Brew again?
That's what I'm thinking. I was trying to figure that out.
I don't see them on the map anywhere, so this could be a 50-50 off the rip between the team that got 2nd place last game.
This could be the choice that they've made. Yeah, Space Station trying to nail some pot shots here. And it's Brew drops taking out Oki, so that is where they decided to back off. Didn't want to deal with Optic, instead went over to Launchpad, but now have to deal with SSG, and once again, it's not working out in their favor.
Nothing is worse than when you're playing in a tournament and you do not have a spot to land. This is so tough for Brew because now, in game number 6, they're gonna have to pick a different spot because this just really didn't work out. Drop, getting those free kill points, you can see them kind of laughing for how free that was for them, and that's just so unfortunate for Brew. They have not been able to find their spot. When you take a look at the map, almost every single POI is taken. The only spot they could potentially go on over towards would be Shipfall, but you have AIM over there as well. You have Gas Station being taken and Fish Farms being taken by DF. So those are the potential spots that they could go. But I don't know what's going to happen with them. As we take a look at the zone, it moves on over towards Stormcatcher. So the rich get richer. Space Station Gaming gets 3 free kills to start, and then Alliance gets the zone pulling over towards them. Right next to them in Command Center, that's going to be 100 Thieves. So the teams that got first and third right there, first, second, and third, all are looking good for this game.
Yeah, and this is something we talked about too, because yes, all of these teams know their drops, they scrim together, but the groups are different, right? And the maps obviously switch up. So there was the potential for when we got with this group pairing onto Stormpoint for someone to have to be bullied off of their drop and then figure out something else. And that's what's happening to Brew right now, and unfortunately it's not going their way.
This is when teams start to rotate. Right on that 145, 130 mark, you can see it in the top left, right next to your mini-map. Alliance, they're making their way, and it's going to be a little bit of a rotation for them. You can see they're on over towards Thunderwatch, so they got to make their plays. But 100 Thieves is going to love this zone. And taking a look at what Space Station Gaming is doing, they're still looting. TSM is on their rotation. They've made their way all the way over towards that area as well. So they're trying to play on over towards the northern side after making their way from Antenna. DZ, Dark Zero is coming for their rotation as well. And there is the CEO of Apex, a crowd favorite here. He's rocking the Charge Rifle Spitfire. Dude is toxic.
Toxic or just really, really good with those weapons. Them getting themselves very comfortable over in Stormcatcher now. Going to be able to hang out here for quite some time. Dark Zero, another team that we've talked about for quite some time. Obviously, those former Split 2 playoff champions going for that Valk rotate here, going to be putting themselves into the zone.
Qualidade que os caras estão jogando também, hein, mano.
As we continue to look at the rest of these teams making their way in. I mean, SSG is pushed in.
30-80, nervosa.
Towards the edge of where it's going to be eventually pulling. They're still hanging out in Launchpad, but right now, the fact that the teams that have been so successful already are kind of being gifted this on top of it, it bodes not so well for the teams at the bottom.
R301 Charge Rifle in hand. It's going to be the 6X trying to find his way past that caustic gas to find out where these players are coming from. And now the shots coming in from Vifes, looking so good with the wingman and that PK in the back pocket. And now he's going to crack that Valkyrie. That's going to be 4-7 going down. Unfortunately, just playing as a duo. This should be easy kills here for Alliance if they could find the final player. But a tough situation to be in as the winners from game number 4 are hunting you down, looking for some more blood. They're going to continue to play the edge out here. And this is kind of Alliance style. Again, they wait for the zone to close, then they get round 3 info, then they go and use their Skyward Dive to find their spot that they're going to be going towards. But such good loot here. You can see 4 batteries, 4-6 coming through for Hockeys. That's going to give them a huge advantage in any type of major team fights that they have to go and heal off of. And taking a look at 100 Thieves and where they're set up, Optic Gaming on your left-hand screen with the picture-in-picture, not going up against Vaxlon. 2 extremely talented players, averaging around the same kills, a little around the same damage as well, but 4 match wins overall for Optic Gaming. In their first round, they won 3.
Both these teams still in the loot and rotate phase. 100 Thieves, though, able to start dealing a little bit of poke damage from across the way on squads rotating right in front of them. Still hanging out here with the Newcastle, posted up right along the edge of this ridgeline for now.
I like this play. Drop the armor, try to get that Evo charged up with the 30-30. Bubble's going to be used. So much ammo in this 30-30, and the 2-4 scope is the perfect for this type of range. Let's see if he can lead those shots. Nice crack right there onto the enemy Valkyrie. But both of these players now are kind of stuck in no man's land. Let's see what Hockeys is going to be able to do with this charge rifle, trying to find one player out of the air. Just a little bit more, and he's going to be done for. They find him, and it's going to be Vipes there with the wingman. Meanwhile, on your kill feed, Hal going to get one onto Dark Zero. Sharky with the charge rifle, and now the hunt is on for Alliance.
And this is what Alliance wants, right? They want to be able to get this safe KP, continue grinding their points up the leaderboard. They're doing this so cleanly, taking every opportunity that's literally crossing right in front of their path. So this is what I guess that's what Yuki meant when he was saying they're just going to do Alliance things today, get themselves in that solid spot. These last 2 games have really been the gameplay that they wanted.
It had to be Sharky who was left behind once they had the Valkyrie on the ropes there from 100 Thieves, and TSM ended up joining in that one. Vaxlon continues to pop off with the 30-30. He finds the kill, and here comes Hockey's. Take it towards there again.
Oh!
No scope, looking for some more. This guy doesn't miss.
Oh my. Do not Valk ult anywhere near Hockey's right now because he's not going to let you get out of here safely. You're going to be losing at least your shields on the way. That's Crazy Raccoons.
Você é louco como esses caras tá jogando, mano?
Lives, and they barely managed to do that, but
E
then
esse tá empolgado, hein?
Thieves, so Alliance is actually going to chase them down. They don't want to let these points get away from them.
Oh, they're on the hunt for sure, and this is absolute aggression coming out from one of the most aggressive teams that we have in Apex Legends. Very methodical squad overall as you take a look at his total kills and damage coming in. Originally was playing Valkyrie, so you could see switched on over to Horizon, and right before we sent it to break, we were talking about great leaders making adjustments. You know, it comes to mind when Hal ended up switching off of that Seer. Now you can see in the kill feed again, 100 Thieves Vaxlon popping off with that 30-30, and also Hockey's continuing to do some work, but 100 Thieves takes down Dark Zero while all of that was happening. So they're going to be eliminated, I believe, in 19th place as 18 squads remain.
And this is what I was saying when Crazy Raccoons could have potentially ran into 100 Thieves. I mean, they go down, and instead 100 Thieves are now in the crosshairs of the very aggressive Alliance, trading a little bit of damage, backing off here. 100 Thieves giving themselves a reset, setting up some more fences, and Alliance realizing that that is not what they want to do, continuing with that push. So they're going to be making the smart decision here and just taking a breath.
We don't even want to know what's going on in the crowd right now, but Fallout is signing a belly, and it's amazing.
Seems about right for the weekend so far. Thank you, Fallout.
Fallout coming in and pumping in the crowd. It's so nice to have the live audience here. I hope you guys are enjoying yourself. It's been such a great week, and we still have a couple more days left, and today is going to be absolutely insane. Once we finish off these 2 games, we again move on over to we move away from group stage on over towards the lower bracket and the winners bracket to find out who is going to stamp their way into the grand finals. 20 teams there, 1 team walking away with $500,000. $2 million is the prize pool. Also, keep in mind, we have Twitch drops that are happening throughout all of this too, so make sure you keep that stream up, and shout out to the chat.
Checking in with TSM now. TSM still just being able to hold this Stormcatcher area. Once again, kind of opting for that more passive center zone play right now, making sure they're getting themselves whatever points they can. They're going to be safe in that next zone as well. We saw that for a second there on the mini-map, so they'll be in a really solid spot, doing a little bit of loot trading here, making sure they have exactly what they need. Some shots coming in on Hal, though, from across the way. Going to back off here, grab whatever they need out of that replicator, and then just keep their eyes on the direction that they came from.
So a pretty interesting thing unfolding as TSM has 1 player in their sights. Is that going to be potentially Hockey's getting a taste of his own medicine? Hal looking for some serious damage, and it was. So charge rifle on charge rifle action coming through from 2 of our best IGLs in the world. And now they're going to have to back off as Alliance takes a decent amount of damage. You could see FL coming in with a rotation behind them. Are they going to pinch them? But look at this. Vibes is aware. He's checking everything towards his back, and he's also got the heartbeat just in case he does spot anyone through the wall.
Yeah, they're just holding this edge right by Thunderwatch, kind of playing the ridge line, knowing that there is the potential for people to be rotating late, coming up from behind, but also they do know that they have a squad in front of them, that 100 Thieves team that they did just take a little bit of damage from. This is a good spot for them to be in for now. They managed to get their early game aggression done, get a little bit of height here, see if he can do some more work with the charge rifle down below. I think they're just going to settle in here.
They are going to settle in. It's going to slow down just a little bit. Everyone's kind of still posturing, taking a look at the teams that are inside of the zone. Obviously, Invictus Gaming, TSM, right next to each other. DNG, 100 Thieves is set up. Alliance is doing some great gatekeeping on over towards the side. And you can see Hawkins is really interested in bullying these players, almost giggling at the way he's using this charge rifle in 6x. Man is an absolute monster with that weapon. Now Zeta Division with a very aggressive team composition. This is throwback to some early metas. Instead of Wraith, you're going to be replacing Valkyrie here with the Bloodhound and the Bangalore. Hitting those smokes, hitting those scans, and being able to see through there is going to be very useful. But they are going to run into Alliance here very shortly, and we know they're watching this edge of the zone. So they're going to be pleasantly surprised once they get there that there's going to be a team, especially a team of Alliance's caliber, waiting for them.
Trying to get their heels up. They're going to come through in not the best position, though, literally directly in line with Alliance. This is about to be potentially some 3 quick KP for Alliance.
This is going to be bad because look at the angle that HAKIS has, and then the heartbeat's going to happen for Vifes. And now, oh, he takes so much damage at Sunset, actually. They left him alone. They didn't sense that they were coming in from behind, and it ends up being perfectly timed. They hit the heels as they need to. And you can now see Impulse is interested in pushing. He's going to come through and lay the smokes down to cut off the angles for the other players so they can get the finish onto the ground and get the armor swaps in. HAKIS is staying in this fight, though. They're going to fight this 2v3. The black hole goes down. Yuki answers on the Taskmaster. Hal gets involved with the charge rifle, and that's going to be it for Alliance. They get eliminated. Hal coming through with that third party from across the map. Will TSM collapse on this? Are they too far to make their way through? No, Zeta Division ends up taking Alliance's spot and breaking their hearts. Our winners from the previous game going out in 17th place. Tough break there, Lauren, for Alliance. They were not watching, and that timing from Zeta Division was just so on point.
Saw a little bit of a sigh of relief there coming through from Sunset after they managed to make it through that engagement. Don't know that they were necessarily expecting that to happen, but they do handle it very well. TSM obviously helping with that cleanup, and now TSM knows that there's another team that way, and they can kind of shift their focus to 100 Thieves as well, considering Zeta Division has to take just a moment here to get themselves reset. But this has been the comfort spot for TSM, and they just continue to be able to hold this down. But look where it's going to be shifting after that. Zeta.
Yeah.
Detonation Gaming in a much better position.
Detonation in a great spot. Zeta taking Alliance spot, really going to enjoy what they're seeing. Now it's a matter of the rotations. 100 Thieves you can see kind of making their way right around where that crypto drone is, where Vaxlon is located. They're trying to get in there some way. But this is going to be so many teams. I'm looking at, what do we have? 12 different teams that are going to be outside of this next zone that have to make the rotation in. This is going to be insane, Glitter.
This is where we get one of those moments where next couple minutes the kill feed just completely pops off. It's going to be barely trackable as everyone is forced to run into each other through various chokes or just out in the open. There's not going to be a whole lot of real estate to hold down. Zeta's going to be able to have the back end of the zone right near Detonation, or Dreamfire back there as well. So there's going to be a couple teams trying to hold that northern edge and see what they can do with the side of those mountains.
And this is also a time where if you're thinking about rotating in, you're trying to focus on the outskirts. Now Optic Gaming, they're going to be running into Space Station. They're getting forced out from Ascend. The bubble's already been used. They're fairly weak. Now it's going to have to be Noct getting taken down by post kill. It was a great Nox gas grenade to try to cut off the angles, but Duplex is going to rat this one out and let Skittlecakes go out on his own. Is he going to do his best Frex impression? You can see Space Station is interested in letting this fight end up taking place. Duplex doing whatever he can, going for the banner. Can he get that as he's sliding down the hill? Is going to kind of change the way that he was sliding so he could pick that one up. But when this zone starts to get fairly small, they're going to be in a tough spot. And I just don't think they're going to be able to get the res. Maybe they will. We've seen some crazier things happen in Apex Legends, but great job from Ascend picking up one kill. But Optic Gaming, they're so good out at getting tough situations. Space Station Gaming ends up leaving that. It looks like they're going to get completely mopped. Somehow, some way, they're able to survive with at least 2 players.
It is the cool, calm, collected, under pressure out of Optic Gaming, saving themselves here and being able to continue on in this game. But of course, now down, gonna have to play a little bit more conservatively here, deciding to rotate a little bit more widely away from Ascend. But Ascend looks like they're gonna come back and they want to continue this engagement.
1000% trying to finish off one of these best teams here. They don't know because we're in anonymous mode, so we have the pleasure of being able to see what the players are, but unless they eliminate a team, then they don't know exactly what that team was. So they actually have no idea that this is Optic Gaming as the shots are being laid and the zone starts to close. Just like you were saying, Lauren, this is where things start to really get dicey for the teams on the outskirts. They're gonna have to fight their way on over towards the zone, but zone number 4 is where things are gonna definitely implode as you take a look at what's going on over towards Optic Gaming side again. Just fighting this one out with Noct being down. So many teams in the area. 1IQ coming outside here very shortly. They're going to have another team that's sitting on top of the pills that they're going to have to deal with, plus they're getting shot at from the side. Fortunately for them, they do have 2 defensive characters, right? So they can hold things off just a little bit. You would ideally want a skyward dive out of this situation, but they're just going to have to slowly work their way on over towards the edge.
And they are just running by so many of these other teams that are also kind of rotating on the edge. You see Burger trying to make a push up onto Optic. And as soon as that happens, the bubble is forced out, the Arcstars are coming in, and you've got ORF here up behind them, probably trying to look for a third party here. This could be some easy KP. 1IQ
gets eliminated. This is Orthos Fang directly above them. You can see the grenades are coming through. The caustic gas is hitting. Those go directly onto the barrels, but a big shot from Burger from the backhand side with the Kraber. AIM gets eliminated in your kill feed, and now it's all up to Skittle Cakes in a 3 versus 1 situation. This is not looking good for Optic Gaming fans. The 30-30 coming in for Jaro, and they're trying to collapse on this. I believe it was MT who had the Kraber. Great shots there, and Optic Gaming going out in 13th place. Burger with back-to-back games having a Kraber.
That was an unfortunate pinch for Optic Gaming, but there was not a whole lot that they could do about it. They were trying to get out, and there were just too many people that have been playing on the edge of this zone for as long as possible for them to really rotate through. But now Burger knows that there is another tree over there. They want, ooh, the Kraber shot. He tried to land it. Burger wants to be able to clean these up.
Senile getting a kill onto AD. That's going to be with the Havoc. Now it is up to Burger to try to gatekeep as much as possible. They do not want to rotate adjacent to this squad. Barrels are being popped up by the enemy Caustic, but this is a tough situation to be in because just one shot of that Kraber is going to completely change everything. Taking a look at the building where Space Station Gaming, Ascend, and TSM are set up in, they're going to be looking good. But the thing is they're going to all have to rotate eventually because this next zone is going up on over towards the northern side. And I'm not quite sure if these teams that are inside the building have this information quite yet. You can see they know that they have to rotate north, but they don't know exactly which northern zone they have to be in. And when you look at where that's going, that's in the middle of the open. So teams without a Gibraltar are not going to be feeling very good about themselves. 100 Thieves kind of comes to mind because of the fact that they're running an unorthodox comp with Watson and with Newcastle. Let's do a quick listening with TSM and find out what they're thinking.
No, they're a duo. That's a team.
We can let above them as well. We can let above them.
No, we cannot. We cannot. Land this little ravine and crouch. Land in a ravine and crouch. We're good here.
Get traps up. Trap up. Trap up. Spam if you need bub. Pop in a cell. Pop in a cell.
Put traps up top. Put traps.
I use all my traps.
I'm trying to get kills here.
If there's free kills, yeah, I don't. Over here, maybe. Jordan, don't look for free kills. Just look around us. Okay, I'm looking around. They're up here on this rock. We're safe.
We're chilling. We're just chilling here.
Keep trapping up to the north, please, when you can. I'm staring north. Okay?
Yeah, stay north. Yeah.
We start getting shot. Pop these traps right away. Don't let them break them.
Que barulho esse no fone dos caras.
The SEER team is fighting them, I think, no?
Inch on the back. I'm stuck. I'm literally stuck. What
just
the fuck?
Crouch and chill out, bro. Fucking calm. Bengal on the north.
I have 15 cells to cells.
They're crossing in the north. They're crossing north.
Okay. Getting charged in the ass. I have one more bat. What do we have for meds?
I have two bats. The duo is still alive over there.
Replace the south traps.
They down one northwest. We might third party it.
All right.
Not yet.
There's another team to the west exactly too. This team's gonna Valkyrie here. Place a trap here.
Look at me! Down below!
They're Valkyrie here. Shoot the left.
Be careful above! Look northwest!
I'm looking north. I'm looking north.
Can we pitch it down?
They're landing to our east, I think.
Can we pitch it down?
They're on our east outside of the zone here. Can I give you that?
Careful northwest. No.
Team over here too.
Give you out that.
I'm batting. Sit behind our traps.
My Bangalore is still down, man.
I'm hitting them. I cracked down there.
Above!
I might caustic ult that. Okay. I ulted that. They threw it up. Fuck up. It's not hitting them.
They above, back up!
They're my guys.
We have second dome here!
I'm gonna bub us out on the right. I'm coming forward. I'm popping one cell.
Bump, they're in, pump!
Oh my god, man. Popping it back.
They don't know we're down, they don't know. Now they know.
Such a nice play from TSM to get to that point. Unfortunately, they're in the middle of so many different teams. TSM going out in 6th place. Other teams that were eliminated: Space Station Gaming, AD, Ascend, Burger, Fennel. Now we're down to 100 Thieves, DF. We have DNG, Zeta, and Invictus Gaming all here duking it out in this final zone. 100 Thieves somehow, some way, finding a little bit of crevice. There is absolutely no way you would run around in Stormpoint and think that these are spots that professional players would go and hold, but they do. They make something out of nothing right here. Now the final zone starts to close, and 100 Thieves is making their move.
100 Thieves know that they have to make this push up on to Invictus
Nossa.
down there at the bottom. They are taken out, unfortunately, after that push. Now this is the opportunity for Detonation Gaming to start making a move in here, see if they can get some points on the board with just the 2 players. But don't forget, we still have Dreamfire above, Zeta holding off as well, and we'll have to see what they're able to do with this.
4 esquadrão ainda.
Detonation Gaming with the shots, the flatline connecting. Again, just playing as a duo, trying their best to survive, but that's going to be it for One Tappy as he goes and takes zone damage towards the final zone. Now it's up to Dreamfire. They have Invictus Gaming on the ropes. They're fairly weak. Can they take on over towards the high ground? A great play to go and take on over towards the rock, but it's up to the shots with the flatline and the PK. You can see they're connecting. They're looking good. Dreamfire on the verge of closing this one out. It's a 3 versus 1, and Dreamfire taking game number 5. What a game, what a final circle. That was absolute madness, Glitter.
Dreamfire was able to hold that high ground, that northern edge of the zone, and just slowly push their way in while everybody else is kind of battling it out. They were the spoilers for TSM. TSM had a really, really solid position. Like you said, they were making a lot out of nothing, and it was working for a little while until they just had too many teams focusing on their position. But still, very, very strong performance from our top 5 there with a zone that didn't really help them out all that much.
You cannot forget about Dreamfire. 4th place in round number 1. 6th place in round number 2, picking up a big win in game number 5. That is one of the most difficult zones I've ever seen played.
I love it. Okay, we're getting pure chaos here for the last couple games. 1 more left to go, and then we move into brackets.
Who's that guy? 18 points, but it was IG with the big 23 because they had 14 kills overall. Just imagine if they were going to be able to close that one out. That would have been a 29-point performance. The highest that we've seen so far in the 2022 championships here is 32. So a phenomenal game coming out from both of these teams, really taking a majority of the points from the rest of these squads.
Yeah, that was a really solid performance on Stormpoint. I mean, even Team Burger, though, we were watching them a lot. They still able to take home 6 kills, even if they weren't able to get those placement points. And same thing with Space Station Gaming, also 6 kills. The aggression is there.
Ixi, a aliança,
Sometimes they just aren't
Optic
able to last
Gaming.
long enough into the match to nail down some additional stuff, but they'll take what they can get.
It's been a slow couple of games on Stormpoint for Optic Gaming. Let's find out exactly where everybody lies in our overall leaderboard. With 1 more game remaining, 100 Thieves still at the top. They improved their scoreline just a little bit. I believe they were up by 10. Now they're up by 12 here. Zeta Division right on their heels with 45 points. Look how much every point matters here, especially for IG, Dark Zero, TSM, all tied at 37 points. Alliance, Dreamfire. Such a big game for Dreamfire, popping up from 15th place to 10th overall.
Yeah, huge for IG, huge for Dreamfire, and this is that final push, right? These teams are trying to give whatever they can in these last moments to get themselves into winners. It's a lot safer being up there than it is down in losers, so that's where everyone wants to be. Fennel jumping up just a tad as well here, but they've only got 1 more opportunity to do whatever they can here on Stormpoint. So the question is, we've seen it happen a couple times. Will Brew try to move into a different drop again because they've struggled to be able to find a safe haven on Stormpoint, or do they just become the YOLO, the hot drop on whoever they can type situation.
That's a great point. Let's take a look at the B stream though and find out exactly where everyone's lying, because we know that it is time for one more game and then we go in to our bracket play. It's all about making your way into the winner's bracket. That's key. Everyone else, they're gonna have to fight their way through on the lower bracket side. EXO has been so darn impressive. They take the lead away from Furia.
EXO is someone we've actually gotten a chance to talk about a lot over these past couple days, really showing us why they are here and what they're capable of. You see Luminosity kind of jumping up a little bit here, and some teams that we've obviously, Furia up there. Team Singularity has been wildly consistent. NRG, but E6, Element 6, they're jumping up 8 spots after that last match. That's gonna be huge for them.
They must have had a big dub overall, and when you look at EXO, they've been so darn consistent, Lauren. They had second place with 63 points, fifth place with 46 points coming out of the LCQ from the APAC South region. As you see, the teams that are on the second page, obviously not wanting to be there. Teams that kind of stand out that have been having off pop-off performance. Team Liquid was a team that won the round number 2. They find themselves sitting around, I believe, 14th place. That's not exactly where they wanted to be, so I'm sure Coach Hot6 gonna get them back on track. But what a day of Apex. One more game remaining in the group stages, and what a performance from our teams here on Storm Point. But I was so surprised. I think the most surprising part of the game for me, as you see Dreamfire's stats, was Alliance being taken out when they get flanked from Zeta Division.
Yeah, it was not. I honestly thought Alliance had the upper hand, especially with the height that Hacky's had trying to be able to shoot down on them. But here are the stats for Dreamfire. We got over 1k damage for Rory over there, and then Tao and Bolin putting in the work as well for the squad. They did a really good job though. They didn't have to be super aggro this time around. They just played their positioning perfectly, and they waited out everybody else to kind of do a little bit of that heavy lifting for them, especially in the final zone.
They had a great skyward dive to get to that point. Yep. What a game number 5. One game remains in our group stages. We're gonna take a quick break. When we get back, we're gonna have that game for you.
Caralho. Vitória, tudo isso já?